took the time to drill a hole through a garage wall to meet up into my bedroom wall.
Her landlord admits he bugged her bedroom. He says he thought she had man problems.
Noise around the house. Men were coming over.
Did you monitor her bedroom activities?
Yes.
Oy, oy, oy. Sir, I don't think you ought to rent apartments anymore, sir.
Needed.
I'll get to you in a minute. This young woman was a tenant of yours, correct?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
And she claims in her papers that you put a device in her house, a bugging device.
Right.
And you admit that you put a bugging
Right.
device in her house. She's suing you for breach of privacy.
Correct.
Now, you say that you had every right to do that, and I'm going to let you explain why, sir.
Okay. My privacy of my home and myself was invaded by her. Also,
How?
men were coming over, breaking in through the window, noise around the house, and all this occurs around 80% after the bars close at 2 o'clock in the morning. I had 3 cops, she had 3 cops over there knocking at my door.
Why did you put a bugging device in her house, sir?
Because I had suspicion of people walking around the house. And I did see them. They walk into my living room. I see them.
She's not complaining that the bugging device, sir, was in your living room, but that you put it where she lives.
Yes, I could hear it. I can't hear back there. If I think I could hear something in the side of the house, I want to know. Because it's my house, because I heard people around there before.
How did you come to rent this part of the house from him?
I'd known him previously, and the tenant that lived there before, and she had moved out, and he made me aware that it was available, and I was...
How did you know him?
Originally, back 2-3 years ago, in the paper, I was looking for a room to rent in the area, and I never did get the room to rent from him, and when this apartment came available, he...
In the 2 or 3 years, had you seen him?
Oh, yeah.
Do you
We
go to
had
the
been
same
friends.
bars? Do you go to the same hangouts? Do you
No,
stay in
we
the
had
same...
been friends, though.
You had been friends?
Right.
After you came to look at this room that you didn't rent?
Well, no, I never got the opportunity to rent it. I was living with a boyfriend. Then I came back to Mr. Saquala's residence, and he, as a friend, he allowed me to stay there in the living room until the apartment in the back became available, and then I moved in the back apartment.
Now, what's all this about people coming in and out of your apartment?
I was in a 7-month relationship. It wasn't different men, nothing of that sort.
But it was a problem relationship.
It was, and...
Police came to your house?
Yes, because he was at my window, and he also attacked me in the front yard. They were on Mr. Saquala's residence at his property twice.
So he got nervous about that. How old are you, sir?
I'm 77. I lived there 42 years. I didn't call the cops but one time. She had the cops over there 3 times.
Yeah, she says she did. She didn't have a nice boyfriend.
He got in jail.
He
He's
doesn't know
out.
what he's talking about. The point is, you know what, that's a self-contained apartment in the back, and he locked both doors so that I no longer had my private entry around the side of the house. The previous tenant did have a private entry. Now he decides that he's going to lock those 2 because I can't have my boyfriend over or my friends.
Miss Garland.
He's making me walk through the main house, and he puts up trespassing signs.
Miss Garland, listen to me. I'm not excusing, and I know that he's excitable. I'm not excusing his bugging your apartment. But you have to admit that based upon what you told me, he was very nice to you. He let you come stay in his house. Shh, listen, he was very nice. He let you come stay in his house, wait until the apartment became available, right?
Right.
And you don't think that you would have had any problem with him if you didn't have all this problem with your boyfriend.
I disagree. I think he's a very perverted individual.
What makes you think he's perverted?
I know his ladies that come over on a regular basis. He has a library video of adult in his room. He's got makeshift toys that I've never seen before. I can't tell you what I found when I went into that room. I originally, on the receiver unit, I cut the black wire so that I didn't know there was an off and on switch on the monitor. But
it was not only an audio unit, but a video unit
I have
as
it
well?
here. He
Can I see
repaired
it?
the black wire, and then I went in the next morning, cut the red wire. It's not until he repaired the unit to listen that I confiscated it. And when I gave him pictures that I took, he clipped the wire from the garage coming through my bedroom wall, so I was able to pull out this big monitor. It was very devastating to hear my TV going on and everything in my place.
What I'm asking you is was this a video unit as well as an audio unit, just
No,
an
ma'am.
audio unit?
Just audio.
Sir, did you tell her that you were bugging her unit?
What?
Did
No.
you tell her
No.
that you were bugging her unit?
No.
Well, you can't do this, sir.
I know that.
Well, you can't do it. That's an invasion of her privacy.
He took the time to drill a hole through a garage wall to meet up into my bedroom wall above my
Just
bed
a second. Did you drill a hole to get into her so that you could monitor what was going on in her
No,
bedroom?
that was in there before she even moved in there.
I
What was it?
agree with that.
Did you monitor her bedroom activities?
Yes.
Oy,
And everybody else that's rented prior to him, I believe that.
oy, oy, oy. Sir, I don't think you ought to rent apartments anymore, sir. You can't do that. It's against the law, sir.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He has 100 adult videos, makeshift toys in his room. It's very disgusting. I mean, if you'd seen what I'd seen.
And later today,
Did the dogs seem to like each other?
Yes.
Yeah, Mom was ready for it.
You have the male dog, right?
Yeah.
It's usually the case.
Yeah.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Lori Garland says her landlord, Peter Schweiakala, placed a bug in her bedroom. He says she had too many gentlemen callers.
Sir, listen to me. Are you on Social Security?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Is that the way you support yourself, or do you have other sources of income?
That's the only thing.
Okay, is that enough to keep your house and to keep you...
Not necessarily, just, I would say, a break even.
You break even?
Yeah.
With your Social Security?
Yeah.
I think, sir, at your age, if you can avoid renting this house that you have behind you, you should avoid it. Do you understand? Because this kind of activity you cannot be involved with. You cannot rent a house to someone and then, no, sir, I know you're raising your hand and you're going to tell me that there were people that shouldn't have been there. You cannot invade someone's privacy by putting listening devices into their home. Period. End of discussion.
May I add something?
Just a second. No, they had nothing. Do you owe him any rent?
No, I don't.
Did you, what day of the month did you leave?
I haven't left yet. I'm planning to move in March.
So you haven't left?
Right.
Did you pay him February's rent?
No, I haven't paid him since November.
Why?
Because I got the police station and I talked to an attorney. And
Just a second.
He doesn't have a renter's permit. I called Housing Authority, and when they let me know, he had assured me when I moved in there after the last tenant problem that he had with also, that he had gotten whatever, obtained a renter's permit from Building and Safety to rent the apartment, and come to find out he has not
Ms.
done
Garland, you didn't pay him rent since November.
Right.
Is that correct?
Right.
How much was the rent?
that. It's $65 a week.
Do the 65 times 4.3, will you please, Byrd?
May I add also, he's been going through my trash. I found this
Then
in his room.
move, madam. You don't stay there and complain. It always irritated me when people stood up there and said, I can't stand my landlord. He does this, he does that, he does that, and he stays there, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to live there,
Right.
and I'm not going to pay.
Right,
That's outrageous.
right.
$3,967.
Now, sir, she's suing you for $5,000 for an invasion of her privacy.
Right.
And she's entitled to that money because what you did was outrageous. However, her conduct, to me, is also not with clean hands, because she comes to court having not paid you rent but lived there without the listening devices since November, and you haven't seen any money from your property. So I am deducting the rent that she was supposed to have paid you from her requested judgment, and I am awarding you, madam, $3,967. And I'm doing that based upon your statement that you are moving March 1st. Now, are you moving March 1st?
Yes, I am.
Where are you moving
yes,
to?
I am. In the general same area.
You have a place?
I'm going to find a room to rent.
No,
another
no.
room to rent.
You don't have a place?
Not yet, no.
Well, I'm advising you that this judgment will be held until March 1st. If you are out of his residence by March 1st, you will get this judgment. If you do not vacate the premises by March 1st, I'll see you both back here again, and we're going to make a modification. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Very good. Thank you. That's all.
Parties are excused.
Thank
you may
you.
step out. Back to your right.
One time we were friends, we was in the kitchen. You know what she said? She looked at me, she said, you know, Pete, I think I'm falling in love with you. And you know what I said to myself? Hello?
Peter, look at
Hello?
me. I think you're getting a little
no,
delusion.
I don't. I have enough of girlfriends
May I be
of my own.
excused?
I don't need you.
And now the next case.
Parties on Alush versus Harris. Step forward, please.
35-year-old customer service agent Tracy Alush says guitar shop owner Jordan Harris kept the stud service fee after their dogs failed to successfully mate.
You were trying to find a suitable mate for your pit bull.
That's correct.
And rather than, according to your papers, and I'm editorializing a little bit, rather than putting an ad in the personal column, you went to the park,
That's correct.
where you found this gentleman who had a pit bull.
Yes.
Did the dogs seem to like each other?
Yes.
Yeah, Mom was ready for it.
You have the male dog, right?
Yeah.
That's usually the case.
Yeah.
She decided hers was ready,
Yeah.
right?
From
You
bleeding.
knew yours was ready.
Mine's always ready.
That's usually the case.
Okay.
So you made this financial arrangement where you were going to charge her a stud fee.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if he's always ready, you could have given it away for nothing if you really loved him, right?
Well,
But you decided that a stud
Pam.
fee was appropriate, right? So $200 was what you arranged. And at the appropriate time, you took your lady to his house?
No, we first came to my house for about an hour or so, and they were
For sort of a courting.
like
to
a
get to
Motel
know each other.
6.
Yes.
There's only one funny person here, sir.
Okay. Oh, okay. You got it. All right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I didn't care whether the dog had or not to mate another dog. So I took the dog, you know, just trying to give it a proper home because I have a good heart.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 35-year-old customer service agent Tracy Alush says guitar shop owner Jordan Harris kept the stud service fee after their dogs failed to successfully mate.
In any event, to make a long story short, you took your dog over to his house for an overnight,
Yes.
and the dogs did, in fact, have a liaison.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Careful.
got it.
Careful!
Huh?
Remember what I told you.
All right.
Remember what I told you.
Yes.
But she waited and waited and waited and waited, and nothing happened, which meant that it didn't take. There were no
Correct.
puppies.
Correct.
So you want your money back.
That's it.
That's it. Now, you didn't have a written contract with each other, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
You had a written contract.
Yes, we did.
Let me see it.
I don't have it with me, Your Honor. I moved and it got dislocated someplace.
What did the written contract say?
It
Do you have
said-
your copy?
What's that?
What do you
No,
mean?
I
What
only
way-
gave her, it was on a napkin, so.
A napkin, listen.
It was
Listen,
real
this is
legal.
California. They do napkins all the time here.
That's right.
Huh?
Love to do napkins.
All right, so what did it say on the napkin?
It said, that I'll get the dog pregnant, and if I don't, that she gets her $200 back. But, you know...
Just a second.
Oh,
Judge,
okay.
I don't think he understands the drill here.
I don't think so, Judge.
It didn't say but, it says she gets her $200 back.
Okay.
Now, what it said?
Yes.
Good. And your position is you were willing to have another overnight
Yes.
instead of giving her the $200 back.
Well, what I told her on the phone was that she has to leave the dog over for at least 2 or 3 nights so they could hit it a couple times.
Just a second. Can I ask you a question, sir?
Sure.
I mean, this is an almost serious question. Have you ever used your dog for stud before?
Yeah, for my friends.
Who have pit bulls?
Yeah.
And did those result in successful litters?
Uh-huh.
So you knew you had what they call in the trade a proven stud.
Yeah.
But maybe there's something wrong with her lady.
Could be very possible.
Right. And your contract said if it didn't take, she gets her $200 back.
That's what the contract said, but not by, word of mouth. I told her that she had to leave the dog over, and when I called her back one night, well, I don't know if you want me to get into that part of the story yet.
Well, the case is almost over, sir, so if you have something to say, you better get it out now.
Well, all right. What had happened was I came home from work, and she had gone in my backyard without me even being there or anybody being there and taking the dog home.
We had talked and made arrangements to meet at 6 o'clock.
This, I don't
Just a
remember
second.
And
doing.
you didn't show up
Talk
by
to,
6:30.
no, don't talk to him, talk to me.
By 6:30, he
The
was not
dog
there.
was there overnight.
Correct.
All right.
And he admitted that they had connected. She's
Is there
not.
any particular reason why you want to have puppies with this pit bull?
You want to see the pit bull?
What? No, I don't.
He's...
It's a nice-looking dog.
No, but why do you want to...
Because I want another dog, plus I want to be able to sell the pups and make some money.
Okay. Well, can I make a suggestion to you?
Certainly.
Do you have papers for your dog?
No.
Oh, you don't have papers
No.
for your dog? Well, that's a problem. That's a problem. And you don't care who your dog may... You have papers for your dog?
No. See, because I would be charging a lot more for my dog because he has a brother that gets, with papers, $1,000 a stud fee.
Well, it's interesting. Why doesn't your dog have papers?
Because I got it from a person who wasn't taking care of the dog, and I told the people that I'd take it off their hands and give it a proper home and really take care of it.
But why didn't they give you the papers?
They didn't have papers to begin with. He owned some kind of wild animal.
Just a minute. You just told me that your dog's brother gets $1,000 for stud. So
Right.
if your dog's brother gets $1,000 for stud, then the litter must have been a registered litter. You see, I know a little bit about that. So if you have a registered litter, that means all the puppies in the litter are registered, which means they can all get papers unless you have taken a puppy with the promise that the puppy would not be used for stud.
Come again? No. Okay. Anyhow.
Did you understand what I said, Bert?
I heard every word.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Did you just tell me that your dog has a brother?
He
who
has a
gets-
brother,
Yes.
a sister, and a mother.
But the brother is a proven stud, and the brother gets $1,000 for stud service. Didn't you just tell me that?
Correct.
So I'm telling you that if the brother has papers,
Yeah.
one dog in a litter doesn't get papers, sir. An entire litter is registered with the American Kennel Club, which means all the dogs in that litter get papers.
Okay.
Right? Do you understand that? So where
But do
are
you
your
understand
dog's
that I
papers?
didn't get papers, though?
Oh, yes, you just told me that.
I told you that I didn't get it, and I just took the dog off their hands. This wasn't a puppy when I got it, okay? Now, I got the dog, and I told them I'd give him a proper home for it. I didn't ask for papers because I didn't even know if I'd do this. I didn't care whether the dog had or not to mate another dog. So I took the dog, just trying to give it a proper home because I have a good heart for,
Good. So
certain-
you're good heart. You're going to give her back her $200. Judgment is for the plaintiff for $200. That's all.
Please are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
He was in trouble, sniffing gas and all this stuff.
3 generations in court, to fight over who took best care of the runaway teenager.
Your 15-year-old problem, you visited on your father and mother.
He punched him out. Gave him a black eye.
No, 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 no.
Today. Judge, this is number 417 on the calendar in the matter of Denault versus Denault. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have seats, please.
All right, looks like the cast is as follows. You, sir, are the plaintiff.
Yes, ma'am.
This is your son.
Yes.
Grandson?
Yes.
How old are you?
15.
Is this the grandson in question?
Yes, ma'am.
You are suing your son for support, retroactive support, for a time when your grandson came to live with you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why don't you tell me why he came to live with you?
Well, my son and his wife, ex-wife, called my wife and I and told us that they couldn't control Richard anymore and that he was becoming a street person and he was on drugs and did not go into school. And they decided to get rid of him. They were going to throw him into court, I guess the ward of California till he was 18. They put him in a mental institution in Bellflower, California, and that's where we picked him up at. And my son and daughter-in-law, or ex-daughter-in-law, promised us that they were going to help us to support Richard. And we knew he had a history of drugs. And
When did you have this conversation about support?
this was about 1st of June or so, because we picked up Richard on the 12th.
Of June?
Right.
Well, tell me what the conversation was about support.
Well, that they would both give us $100 a month to help us take care of Richard. I told my son that I couldn't afford to solely pay it, so that's that I needed his help to help me with Richard, and he agreed, and so did Brenda, or Michelle, as she's well known now. And we went before a notary and we signed papers to that effect. I cannot find my copies. All my files are missing, and I don't know why.
You mean copies of papers that say he would pay you $100 a month?
Yes.
And you telling me that that was in writing?
Yes.
Is that true, sir?
No, it wasn't.
So what happened with Richard when he came to your home?
Well, we tried to get him into school because he'd been out of school for over, I guess, 6 months to 7 months. He was flunked in the 7th grade. So I called the governor of Utah and asked them if they could help me to get Richard into some kind of a tutoring program. And I guess through him calling the school in our area and everything, I finally got him a tutor to help him through the summer to get ready for the 8th grade.
How long did he live with you?
Altogether, 11 months.
How come
I had him up until December 25th.
What happened in December?
Yeah, we met his father and his father's new wife in Caesar's Palace, I believe it was. And we let Richard reacquaint with his father, and we tried to talk to his father into taking him home with him for a week or two. And he did, and then about a week after he had him, or 3 days or 4 days, something like that, he called me back and said I'm deciding to keep Richard.
And how long did he keep him for?
Well, he called me back in it's either January or February and told me he couldn't keep Richard in the house. He kept running away. He was starting to ditch school again, if he was in school. I don't think his father put him in school for at least a month or so. And then about a month after that, he called me again and said Richard was a runaway again. He took off in his underwear or his pajamas, I don't know which. And his father was looking for him, but it took him a week to find him.
And then he came back to live with you?
No, then he went to court, and he was being charged for 2 burglaries and a few other things. My son didn't want him anymore, so he had petitioned the court to make Richard a ward of the court until he was 18. They called me and asked me if I could take Richard back to Utah to save him from being a ward of the state of California.
And you did?
I did.
And how long did you keep him at that point?
I had him until October, I believe. My son snuck up and stole him from us.
What do you mean he snuck up and stole him?
He came up while my wife and I were at where she works, and then I get a call from my daughter saying that Rick had just come up there with a sheriff and took Richard with him. And then after that happened, we found a lot of papers missing, our files, a few other things. So I don't know if they prepared this prior to him coming up or what.
Okay, sir.
When Richard went to the hospital, his mother put him in there because Richard was living with his mother at the time. Brenda, Michelle, she came and told me that she put him in the hospital. And I said, well, ask Richard if he wants to come live with me. He said no. So Michelle said, well, how about if he can go with his grandfather? Well, Fred said, yeah, I'll take him. So Richard says, well, I'll go with him. So he went with him because Michelle was going to put him into a placement home.
When did you change your name from Brenda to Michelle?
About 5 years ago.
See, when I was married to her, she was Brenda. So I'm used to Brenda, you know, calling her Brenda. So my Fred took him to Utah with him. And he asked me, well, Rick, are you going to help me? And I says, well, if I have some money, I will send you some money. He says, okay. So he went up to Utah, and I was getting calls from Fred that he was in trouble, sniffing gas and all this stuff. We met in Las Vegas in December, and Fred said, take Richard with you. I want him to get to know you again and all that. I said, okay. So Richard was with me, and he was getting in some trouble with the law and stuff like that. So we went to court, and the court was going to put him into a placement. So Richard says, well, I'll go back to Grandpa's in Utah. So I called him up, and I asked him, I said, Fred, Richard would like to come back to Utah. And he says, okay, I'll take him back. He came down and picked him up, took him up there. And he was having problems with Richard. Richard was sneaking cigarettes, and he asked for the cigarettes back, and Richard said no, so he punched him out, gave him a black eye. And so I called up there, and I asked, how's everything with Richard? And he says, well, I just punched him out because he wouldn't give me the cigarettes. Then he mouthed off, and I hit him again. I said, you know, that's not right. Why are you doing that? Well, I'm tired of it. Excuse my French. I'm tired of it. And I said, well, try to understand him, you know. Then I called up again. Then he's over medicating him with Zoloft, 150 milligrams a day. And I said, why are you doing that? He says, well, I'm trying to keep him calmed down. And I talked to my girlfriend, my wife, and I said, well, you know what? Let's go up to Utah and pick him up. He's getting abused.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Stupid isn't written here, sir. They do not send you to NA meetings because you're on Zoloft. Don't say dumb things, especially to me.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 57-year-old machinist Fred Denault says his son, 40-year-old Rick Denault, owes him for caring for Rick's son, his grandson, 15-year-old Richard.
Well, just a second. Let's step back a minute. The judge in the court in California permitted your son, instead of going to a juvenile facility, to go to live with your father. Is that correct?
Yes.
He was released to your father's custody, not to yours. Is that right?
Yes.
So you had no right to go and pick him up because he was, in fact, released to your father's custody. Right?
Right.
See, I didn't even read those papers, and I know that. Byrd knows that, too, because we've been around the block.
Except, didn't the court said they allowed him to go up there? Isn't that a different phrase? Allowed?
Let me tell you what they did in the state of California. They saved themselves probably $100,000 by not putting him in a facility here at taxpayers' expense. They said, we're going to make it Utah's problem. We'll send him to Utah to live with his grandfather. Let me first discuss with you, sir, your countersuit. I'd like to get that resolved first, which is you're suing for mental anguish for your son. You want $2,000. You don't get a penny. Nothing.
Okay.
Your 15-year-old problem, you visited on your father and mother. They had their own problems. I assume you weren't a piece of cake to raise. You have other children, sir?
Yes.
How many other children?
We have 3 others. And
They
about-
raised their children. You were having a problem with your child. So let me tell you what you did. You were having a problem, you and Brenda, Michelle, Sonia, whatever her name is. You were having a problem with your child. You couldn't deal with it. So you call your father. Help me out, take him. Then you take him back. While he's in your care, goes out and he commits a couple of burglaries. Now the courts are going to take him. The courts have evidently decided that you are not fit to take care of him, and your former wife, Michelle, Brenda, Sonia, is not prepared to take care of him. So they call your father with your permission. And he takes him. And he can't control him. Neither could you. So where you get this countersuit from? You've been reading too many fiction books. But let's get to your lawsuit. How much money did you send to your father in the almost year that your son lived there?
$100. Gift certificate for Sears, for JCPenney's.
How many children do you have?
How many do I have?
That was
I
my
have
question.
one.
This one.
Yes.
No, he has 3 others that he don't bother to claim or support.
Just a second. How many children do you have?
I have one.
You don't have 3 others? What is it? You don't
Well,
have 3
I have another child, except she got remarried and she had the child adopted from her new husband.
So that accounts for 1. And what about 2 more?
2 more?
2 more. You have 2 more?
No.
That you don't, I'm not talking about that you see, that you don't see, that you support, that you don't support, that you have.
I have 3. Well.
So I assume that since you say you only have 1 child, that I don't even have to ask the question whether you don't support the other 3 children. What kind of work do you do?
I work for a company called West Sanitation, put air fresheners in restrooms.
Okay, and how long have you been working for them?
6 years.
How old are you, sir?
40 years old.
You know, there comes a time when you have to stop visiting your problems on your parents. You've got a lot of other problems. Meanwhile, the one major problem that you have was a 15-year-old child. You asked your parents to take some responsibility for him, and then you had some financial problems, and in a whole year, you sent him $100. You know, you can't feed a goldfish on $100.
Well,
But he says something rather interesting, sir, in his answer, which I'm sort of curious about. Did you apply for welfare for him when he was living with you?
Yes, I did.
And how much did you collect for welfare while he was living with you?
Esther, you remember?
2, excuse me.
I think it was 2 payments of $250. That was towards the end of '96.
Yeah, I only got 2 up to, they helped me out with 2 months.
2 months. And how much did you receive for those 2 months?
It was a total of $500, because it was $240 a month, so it was quarter $480.
Yeah, because Richard had a $1,200 hospital bill when he was sniffing gas.
Okay, but they paid that.
Right, that's how we had to go for this.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
If he cared, he wouldn't be doing what he did to him up there in Utah. Beating him up, you know, giving him too much medication.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Fred Denault wants his son, Rick, to pay him back for caring for his son, Richard.
I have a sense that you haven't seen the last of this responsibility. But right now, it's your son's responsibility. You have a lawsuit before me, and I try to keep things simple. You know, the old KISS principle, keep it simple. Your agreement was for $1,100. You got $480. I am not giving you credit, sir, for the $100 gift certificate that you sent to your son for clothes. It's ridiculous. So I'm awarding you $620. What do you want to say?
He was not with him for 11 months. He was just with him for 9 months. 6 months in 1996 from June to December. Then I brought him back. Then he went back on 5/27 of 97. Then I brought him back 3 months after that.
Is that about right, sir?
Was it 5/27? I'm sorry, I'll stand corrected. It was 5/27.
Okay. So then we have to reduce this award by $200, making the award $420.
Can I say
Is your son currently under medical care, sir?
No, he isn't.
Why not?
He is, he doesn't need it. He is improved.
Is he in school?
He was going to a non-public school. Yesterday we had an IUP meeting. He is now going to a public school now. I have letters stating...
So he's doing okay?
Oh, he's doing 100% better. 100% better.
Well, that's very good.
He's an A and B student.
Good.
I have his report card.
You doing better?
Yes.
And he's going to NA to get off because when he was with my father, he was on that Zoloft for so long. So the courts wanted him to go to NA to get off of it, you know, from the withdrawals and stuff off the Zoloft.
What? Stupid isn't written here, sir. They do not send you to NA meetings because you're on Zoloft.
That's what the
No. They send you to NA meetings, sir, if you're on illegal drugs, not if you're on prescription medication that you're taking. They don't send you to NA meetings. What do you, I mean, I'm not stupid.
Well, I know that, so I'm just saying that when I brought him back from Utah, we went to court, and this is what the judge put him...
The judge may have put him there, but not because he was taking Zoloft. Maybe because he was taking a little crack, maybe because he was taking a little cocaine, maybe because he was smoking a little dust. For all those other things, maybe he went to NA meetings. Does that sound right to you?
Maybe he was doing that in Utah.
Does that sound right to you?
I don't know about with me.
I don't know.
Maybe it was with him because I brought him.
Hey. When you sent him to your father the first time, you sent him there because he was doing drugs, right?
Right. Mother and I.
Yep. Mother. What kind of drugs was he doing?
I don't know. He was living with his mother.
Well, you should know you're his father.
Because they went...
You should know you're his father.
And he lived across the street from his son.
How could I figure that?
Sir, you should know. And they don't send someone to NA meetings because they're taking prescription drugs. Don't say dumb things, especially to me. But I'm pleased to see that you're doing better. Right?
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Seems to me that if it was recently that you spent some time with your grandfather and grandmother, even though you may not think so now, it may have been a good break for you, because if it wasn't for them, you would have been in juvenile hall, right?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
And that wouldn't have been a very good thing.
No.
You wouldn't have liked that, right?
No.
So they really saved you from going to jail.
I went.
What?
I went.
You went to jail. They saved you from spending more time in jail.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Did you thank them?
Yes.
Do you write to them?
No.
Do you think you should?
They told me and my father they didn't want nothing to do with us.
I think your grandparents probably would like to hear from you, even if it's just an occasional note. You think you can do that?
Yes.
Good. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
He doesn't care for Richard, his grandson. He don't care. If he cared, he wouldn't be doing what he did to him up there in Utah. Beating him up, you know, giving him too much medication.
He's very important. I love him. I wish he was still at our house.
I'm trying to get my son to take care of his son.
I am to take care of him.
And he hasn't done it ever since the kid was 3 years old. He pays $50 a month child support, which is really a lot of money.
You didn't get a guarantee, sir, that you were going to meet Cinderella?
He hired a dating service to find the perfect mate, but didn't like the product.
I work for a dating service.
You own it?
No, I don't.
Do you have the power to appear here on behalf of the owner?
Yes, I do.
You were interested in meeting some ladies.
Yes. Together contacted me by telephone and left me a message on my answering machine.
How did they contact you?
In the past, I had filled out a thing that they have if you're interested in possibly joining a dating service. It was like a few years earlier, and I never did join Together. But evidently, they recalled after a couple years looking for new clients, I suppose.
Okay.
So they called, and they left me a message wondering if I'd be interested. And like I said, left a message on my answering machine. I called back, and I says, sure. I talked to some gentleman, which I don't know what his name was, and I set up an appointment. So I went down there probably within a few days or a week's time, and I met this woman named Gail. That's who they had me. She basically told me what the structure of Together was all about, how it worked. We sat down. I probably stayed there, I would imagine, if I remember, a couple hours. They really get personal into your business. They want to know who you are, what kind of money you make, do you really work. And also they have you fill out a form asking you what particulars are you looking for in a person, whether it be age, looks, background.
Do you have a copy of that form?
Yes, I do.
Can I see it, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. That actual form, I don't. I went up to the office and I asked if I could get that particular form that I filled out, and they told me I'd have to make an appointment for during the week.
Let me see a copy of the form you filled out, please. Anyway, how much did this cost you, sir?
$795.
That's what you paid them in total?
Yes.
Okay. It says he will date, age range, well, it says 30 to 40, and that's crossed out, but in parentheses it says 35. Height range, 5'3" to 6 feet? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I probably did. I don't remember that part.
Slender. You don't care whether they're single, divorced, or widowed, right?
Well, no.
Marital status. You don't care.
They can't be married.
Single, divorced, or widowed.
Yeah.
And with kids, maybe.
Right.
Prefer a non-smoker, social drinker, Caucasian, education is open, profession is open, Christian, Catholic. So far?
Right. It didn't matter really
Okay.
the religion so much as Christian.
And the rest of it, sort of the soft stuff. Honest, caring, hard worker, romantic, easygoing, down to earth, open-minded, sense of humor.
Right. They asked both of us.
I'd like all those things too.
Right. Don't we now?
What?
We do, but you know, that's just the basics of trying to match. You're not going to get all that, I realize.
Yeah,
that.
I know. Okay. And then it tells you, it's your wish list.
Well, it's something I paid for, basically.
Right. All right. Now, you're suing them for even more than the $795 because you said you had to take a lot of these ladies out on dates, I assume.
No, that's not true. I'm just suing for my court costs and me taking off work to file for court costs. I'm not asking for money back. And actually, I never really took the women out. We had like meetings. What it is you...
Okay. So the contract was $795. And now I'd like you to describe for me, sir, you did go out on some dates that they arranged for
Actually,
you.
They weren't really dates or meetings.
Meetings?
Yes.
All right.
It's a difference.
Meetings.
Okay.
Because you weren't going to spend anything unless you sort of like...
Well, that's how it works for both parties.
You go someplace,
right,
you meet,
exactly.
you look, you
yes.
take a look, and then
right,
you leave.
Exactly. You feel each other out to understand what you're coming from, who you like.
Okay. And where do these meetings usually take place?
The first one, the first lady that I met her up in her hometown. I think it was up around Buffalo Grove, if I remember right.
Okay, and describe this lady to me.
I don't know what you mean by describe her.
Describe her physical appearance.
Physical features. She was heavier than I wanted in a woman, and she had dark hair, and she was what I would, in my personal preference, not what I would even consider average looking, because I asked for somebody in this, like I said, something I paid for. I asked for something, I didn't say attractive, I said better than average looking is what I stated on that thing.
Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
Exactly. And it's
How
something
old?
I'm sorry.
How old?
How old? If I remember right, she was, I think, 38 or 39.
So that's within the age range.
It was.
Okay, and she was available. She was either single, widowed, or divorced.
She was a nice person. We sat, we sat at a bar in this German tavern, and we had drinks, and we talked for a while, and she just wasn't my type at all.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
So I assume that after that date, you called back and said she wasn't my type.
Actually, they have a form that you fill out. Until you can get another date, you have to fill out like a fact finder form.
Okay, so then you filled out a form. Do you have a copy of that form?
Yes, I do.
Can I see it, please? This was after the first date.
Yes.
Okay. Well, this says she was friendly and down to earth. No attraction on my part. I like ladies a little slimmer. To me, she was what I consider average looking. I'm afraid to ask.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Well, here's the woman that you went out with who was 43. He told me he knew it would never work and got up and left. How embarrassing. He was the most impolite person I've ever met, and I feel very sorry for anyone who meets him.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tom Jeanette says Marcia Engel and Together Dating Service did not fulfill his dating needs, and he wants a refund. Marcia says the contract clearly states there are no refunds.
So tell me about the second date.
Okay, the second date, they call me, and it's a woman, which I didn't want to really meet anybody in her 40s at the time. Like I said, I had a preference on there. And I don't remember the woman's name, but I told her, I says, listen, you guys are not giving me what I want. And she said, oh, no, you won't be sorry. Oh, you got to go out with her. You really like her, So I said, okay, give me her phone number.
She was in her 40s.
Yeah, I don't
How old
remember.
are you?
I'm 43. I just turned 43.
How old was she?
How old was she? I don't remember. She was in maybe 43 or 44 at the time. I really don't remember. But I know she was in her 40s.
Okay, so this lady that you went out with the second time was about your age.
Okay, yes.
Right?
Right.
What was wrong with her?
What was wrong with her? She just was a total mismatch. Not at all anything that I was looking for. And I felt...
Tell me why.
Tell you why? Basically, she was, to me, very unattractive. And when I sat with her and talked with her, I didn't find we had that much in common at all.
Can I see? And you filled out a form after that?
Yes, there should have been a form.
Can I see the form? Well, this sort of says it all. Don't you have anybody in your files that takes care of their bodies by exercising? Do you exercise?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so that's your second date. And what happened the third date?
The third date, she sounded okay on the phone. I said, I'll give her a chance. They said she's really nice, so. Anyway, I meet her, and we're talking, and she just wasn't my type. She's a very nice person. But what shocked me is what she told me was...
What do you mean? I'll get to that in a second. You say a very nice person. How old was she?
I'm going to say 39. I'm not sure.
Okay. Nice looking?
Like you said, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and it wasn't what I was looking for. Okay?
Overweight?
Somewhat.
How much is somewhat?
I didn't gauge her. She wasn't what I was asking for. I was asking, like you read earlier, somebody slim and build, and all three women were not. Unfortunately, it's my preference. And
what did she do for a living?
Well, she was a cocktail waitress, I think she said, and I forgot what else she said. But that was one of her jobs.
Uh-huh. And so you were going to tell me what she said to you at this meeting.
Okay, at the meeting we were talking, basically, and she told me that she didn't even belong to Together anymore, that her membership had run out, but that Together was lacking women to supply to gentlemen within the group, so they would contact her every once in a while and send her out on a date. And she said, hey, why not? It's not costing me nothing. Now, I was kind of floored when she told me that, but she said, I didn't mind.
Right.
Yeah.
That sounds like she was honest.
Yeah.
Right? That's the first thing that you put down here. Honest. So you had 3 dates. Did you have any more dates?
No, they started calling with women in the 40 range again. And I said, no. And then I just refused, and that's when we got into this matter here of filing for a small claims lawsuit.
Okay, go. I'm hearing your side.
Okay. As far as we're concerned, we have serviced him with women that were in accordance with what he was requesting, and the fact that he was not, there was no chemistry between them and that he wasn't physically attracted wasn't any part of our agreement.
Mm-hmm. This last person that you arranged for a meeting with, she had, at the time, an expired contract with you?
Okay, that I'm not aware of, and I couldn't answer that. We only have active members.
Well, she said she wasn't an active member.
Okay.
She told him that. Does your organization ever contact people that aren't active members?
No, we don't. No, we don't.
So this honest lady was lying. This honest lady was lying.
I don't know what he's representing that she said.
I believe him when he said that that's what she told him. You signed a contract, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
And you seem as if you are an intelligent person.
Right.
Right? I was sort of surprised after having heard you when you said she made me feel comfortable enough to sign a contract without thoroughly looking it over.
Right. Basically,
it was all part of a con game.
Okay.
What kind of work do you do?
Okay, I'm a service advisor for an automobile dealership.
What does that mean, a service advisor?
I'm the first person you make contact with when you bring in a vehicle for repairs. I write down what your complaints are, and then I relay the information to the mechanics, and I deal with insurance companies, and I may have to call the customer back on cost.
So that you're a pretty educated person?
Right.
Well, then if you sign a contract, you're supposed to read it.
I understand that, but when I was talking with Gail, I even asked her, when we got to the final point where we're going to sign the contract, I asked her, I said, I guess I should read this? But she says just to save time, basically what it says in here is that you're not the basic axe murderer, and that we're not liable for anything you might do, and that you're a normal person kind of thing.
Let me ask you this question.
Yes,
somebody brings their car into your dealership, they sign a piece of paper, right?
Right.
It's a long agreement that they sign. They just come in, they drop their car off on their way to work. You have the clipboard here. Listen, I've been there a lot. They have a clipboard here, and they say, you drop your car off, could you sign here, please? Right?
Yes.
They sign over there. How many people that sign over there, sir, read what they're signing?
Right.
How many?
Probably not most of them.
Right. Now, if one of those people that came into your car repair service center said, I didn't read it, I was in a rush, I was going to work.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
It's not a con game, sir, it's business. You didn't get a guarantee, sir, that you were going to meet Cinderella.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tom Jeanette's wants Marcia Engel and Together Dating Service to refund his money. He says he didn't have one satisfying date.
And what I'm saying to you, sir, is I know you were disappointed, but you signed a contract, and your contract clearly says, can't read it without my glasses, it says the client agrees that upon receipt of the client's first referral, shall not be entitled to any refund. That's what it says.
It does say that, but what was the con game all about with Gail telling me that, yes, don't worry about it, we have all kinds of nice women for you to meet and things, women that you're looking for.
It's not a con game, sir, it's business. They say they have a lot of nice women. You say 2 of the 3 women that you went out with were very nice people that you just had no chemistry with. Well, you sat and talked to them, they were nice, one of them was nice and honest. They didn't look like Quasimodo. They may have not been your exact type.
Right, but like I said, it's something I paid for, and they weren't supplying.
You weren't satisfied. You didn't get a guarantee, sir, that you were going to meet.
But they
you were going to meet Cinderella.
It's not the Cinderella. It's not even a Cinderella factor. I have a form in there that says that they will try to get it better for you each time. We're gonna justify. We're gonna modify this for you, and there's no thought process to it.
I'm not sure there's no thought process. You have certain things that you want. That's what happens when you use a dating service.
Right.
You have comments on the women that he went out with?
I thought they were all very compatible. We matched by...
No, comments from the women, right? He filled out these forms.
We do.
He filled out these forms.
Yes,
so I'd like to see the forms that they filled out. I assume that you charge the women the same thing?
There's different memberships, so the pricing is based on the type of membership that they buy.
What do you mean different memberships? You pay one price, you get ugly people, you get good, one price, you get better.
Based on the number of referrals that you're purchasing.
Judge, that's
well, just a second. That's a lot of double talk. Where does it say that here? In this contract? That you're contracting $795 for 9 referrals. You have other contracts say you're contracting for different amounts for different numbers of referrals? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
So that's what it is. Was that explained to you, sir?
It's not working out. The second date that I had, she got very upset. During the meeting, she brought up the subject of how much did you pay for the date? And we both signed up, I think it was the same weekend. And she paid a couple $100 more than me, and she had a fit because she called Marcia. And Marcia called me, and also on that date, she called me up telling me that I have to give these women a chance and date them and get to know them.
Let me see their
That's my
comments.
money I have to spend on dates, not theirs.
You just told me you didn't spend any money on dates.
No, if I had to, they're telling me I should take them out.
Well, you didn't, sir. You didn't take them
No, I
out.
didn't, but I thought that was wrong. They should be telling me what I have to do. It's a service I paid for.
Have you always been single?
No,
How long were you married?
14 years.
Well, here's the woman that you went out with who was 43. Around your age. She said, when I met him at the restaurant, he did not even give me time to sit down. He told me he knew it would never work and got up and left. How embarrassing. He was the most impolite person I have ever met, and I feel very sorry for anyone who meets him. Did you just get up and leave?
No, I sat there with her for about 10 minutes or so talking, and I did tell her, I said, this is not going to work. I shook her hand, and I said, good luck to you. I hope you have good luck with the service.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I do not find that there was any fraud on the part of the defendants. Their contract clearly states that this is a non-refundable fee. You took advantage of their service on 3 occasions. It's certainly not what you had wanted, but the first one that you went out with, who you said was a nice person, who was in the age category that you had requested, you didn't find her particularly attractive, but that doesn't mean somebody else might not.
Exactly.
So they fulfilled their part of the contract, according to this contract, when they sent you out on 1 referral. They gave you another referral that you said was also not bad, probably in your age category, and you weren't crazy about her either. The only one that you got up and walked out on was this 43-year-old lady.
And I didn't just get up and walk out on her.
Okay.
We sat there for a while.
Sir, you're old enough so that when you sign a contract, you're supposed to read it and understand it. You're not supposed to let anybody flim-flam you by saying to you, you don't have to read the contract. You're in a contract-oriented business, so you should know better. If it didn't work out this way, try meeting and mingling.
Yeah,
That's all. This
I
case
find
is
it's worked
dismissed.
better.
Parties
all.
are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I'll state and I'll go to my deathbed saying that it's something I paid for, something I requested to save me money and time, and it wasn't supplied, and they just kind of throw what they want at them. That's my opinion. That's what I found. These are nice ladies. I don't know them personally, but if you're just talking about attractiveness, yes, they're attractive ladies.
So this was a teenager in rebellion.
Yes, ma'am.
When the teenage girl ran away from her real mom and dad, the basketball team mom took her in.
You took this child without her father's permission.
I had her for a year.
Why did you go back to your father's house?
We all went out to breakfast, and we cried.
Doris Fuller is suing chemical engineer Ray Lewanig to recoup costs for supporting his daughter, Roshika Lewanig, now 18. Ray says Doris took his daughter without permission.
Order, all rise.
Your Honor, this is case number 374 on the calendar in the matter of Fuller versus Lewaneg. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may have a seat.
Miss Fuller, you're suing the defendant because you allege that he owes you money for the year that his daughter lived with you.
That's correct.
Now, this was sort of an interesting story. You took her into your home without his permission, is that correct?
Yes.
Well, why don't you tell me how that came about?
She wanted to finish her last year of high school down here to play basketball.
Where is down here?
She was at Paramount at the time, but I live in Dominguez District. She ran away before her father moved to Victorville with her friend. Her father went over there, caused a big scene, had the police involved.
Because his daughter ran away?
Yes. Rashika called her mother in Arkansas and had...
Sir, you and your daughter's mother are divorced, is that right?
We were divorced, ma'am. That's right.
And your daughter was living with you?
She let me keep her for the meantime. She wants to go down.
She was, in fact, at the time that we're talking about, living with you when she
Living
ran
with
away.
me. Yes, ma'am.
Which is the daughter? That's you.
Rashika.
Now, how did you get involved with her?
Through basketball. I met Rashika when she was playing basketball with my daughter. I was the team mother for Paramount's basketball team. They didn't have a lot of support, and I went to all the girls' games. I took the
So that's how you got involved with her?
Yes.
So now we're up to a point where she ran away from her father's house.
Yes.
And somehow contacted you.
Yes.
And you said you can come and live with me.
I talked to her mother in Arkansas.
You didn't speak to her father?
No.
You called her mother?
Rashika called her mother.
Rashika called her mother, with whom she wasn't living at the time?
No.
And her mother gave you permission for her to live in your house?
I have the notarized. She came the next day. I have the authorization.
Okay. And she signed papers, her mother signed papers for her to live in your house?
Yes, and then we went to court, and the court gave me temporary guardianship.
Okay. With her mother's permission?
Yes.
But according to your papers, not with her father's permission?
No.
Father was not happy about this. Is that right, sir?
That's true.
He said he didn't know where she was.
So how long did she stay with you?
From June the 17th, 1996 until June the 22nd, 1997.
Now, according to your papers, she played you like a violin.
Yes, she did.
You didn't know that at the time.
No. I looked at that beautiful face, Your Honor, and I believed everything she told me.
Now, you believed everything, all the bad things she told you about her father, that he didn't understand her, that he was verbally abusive to her. You believed all that?
When I first met Rashika, I could see that she was unhappy. She was crying a lot. I could tell she was an unhappy child.
So, Miss Fuller, my question to you is, you interfered with a family situation. Because when she finally left your home,
yes,
she went back to her father, right?
Yes. After she graduated from high school, she went to college.
But she went back to her father.
Yes, he gave her a car and offered her money, and she left.
Whatever, she went back to her father.
Yes.
So this was a teenager in rebellion. She left her mother's house, right, to go to live with her father? Is that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am. That's true.
How long have you been divorced from her mother?
Oh, about 15 years.
And how long had she lived with her mother?
14.
And how many years did she live with you?
About a year and a half until she met Miss Fuller.
Yes.
Rashika's mom told me that she was financially unable to care for Rashika and her sister Renisha. That's when she sent them out here. This is what her mom said.
Doesn't sound right to me. You don't send two children to their father after they've been living with you for 15 years or for 14 years because you're financially unable to take care of them.
She said she had had an accident and was hurt and wasn't able to take care
Well,
of them.
when you met her, when she came to sign the guardianship papers,
yes,
did she appear to be injured to you?
Maybe.
What does maybe mean?
she seemed to, like she had a head injury maybe.
She didn't have a head injury that prevented her from signing these guardianship papers.
No.
Or from understanding that she was turning over legal custody to you of her daughter.
She told me she was unable to care for her.
Okay.
Her father was abusive.
All right. I assume you have at least one teenage daughter?
Yes.
Just so you know that teenage daughters can be difficult sometimes? Or yours aren't difficult?
My youngest one wasn't.
And what about the older one?
Well, they did good. All my children graduated from high school.
I didn't
never really had any problems with them.
Well, then you should be written up in Guinness Book of Records, because most
I was
women,
very lucky.
most mothers who have teenage daughters know that they're a little difficult at times.
I was very lucky.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
At the time, I felt he didn't understand, but now that I see it, and I'm, in college, and I see my sister going through getting disciplined, I understand she needs it.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Doris Fuller wants Ray Lewanig to pay her for taking care of his daughter, Roshika. Ray says she took his daughter without his permission.
Now, I want to know why you think that this man ought to pay you anything.
Well, for child support, when the courts gave me temporary custody of Roshika, the judge sent us, Ray and Roshika and I, to go talk. We went to the IHOP in Compton. He offered me $400 a month child support. I said that was fine. Roshika and her dad left. When she came back, I asked her for the check. She was hesitant to give it to me.
What month was this?
In May.
That was a month before she left?
Yes.
Well, why are you suing for $4,200 if I believe you, that you say he agreed to pay you $400 a month, and then his daughter went back to him within a month? Why should I give you $4,200?
I had her for a year.
Right.
And when she came to play basketball...
I'm not interested in anything else. What I'm really concerned about is you took this child without her father's permission. You discussed the matter with her mother, not her father. Her mother gave you guardianship. You made no attempt, according to what you've told me, to get some child support from her mother, who was the one...
She sent me $75.
She sent you $75. You're suing him for almost $5,000. She was the one who gave you permission to take her daughter without his consent. He didn't even know where she was. Is that right, sir?
That's very true, ma'am.
Were you collecting welfare for her?
No.
Who was covering her medical insurance?
Her father paid her medical insurance. The one time I took her to the doctor, they gave me a $5 payment, and I paid that.
So she wasn't on anybody's welfare budget?
No.
Okay, sir. How much money did you give her in total to take care of your daughter after you knew where she was?
Well, I tried to negotiate with her because I saw my daughter in good, condition.
When was that? What month was that?
In May, right after the court hearing. We went to IHOP, and I offered her, look, I can only give you $200 a month in front of her, because as far as I know, she was with her mom.
You mean before that you thought she had been with her mother?
Uh-huh.
And then you went to court.
I went to court.
This was in May of '97.
Yes, ma'am, May of '97.
And in May of '97, you went to IHOP and had this discussion about support. And how much money did you give her in May?
I didn't give her anything. I offered her $200. And
right.
I thought she agreed, so I went to the bank with her, gave her the $200.
Did you give?
I explained it to her. I cannot afford $400 because I just moved out. I got 2 young kids now of my own from my new marriage. And she's not in my budget because I know she's gone.
Okay.
Gone back to her mom.
Step up here. You're the daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you go back to your father's house?
After we had, in court, we all went out to breakfast, and we cried. Sorry.
It's okay. You were ready to go home?
Yeah. I had seen my little sister and my little brother, and and my father, we talked things out, and I wanted a relationship with him again.
You think that part of the problems that you were having with your dad that caused you to leave were at least in part your fault?
When I was with my mom, I never got disciplined. So when he disciplined me, I rebelled.
When you say he disciplined you?
Grounded me.
Grounded you?
Took my car away.
And your mom never did those things?
No.
That wasn't wrong of him to do, right?
No. Well, at the time, I felt...
You thought it was?
He was just all against me, and he didn't understand, you know, and... But now that I see it, and I'm, you know, in college, and I see my sister going through getting disciplined, I understand she needs it.
Miss Fuller, let me tell you what you did, madam. You interfered in a family situation. You had no business interfering with this family situation. Took it upon yourself to take this man's daughter, who was living with him, and he seems like a perfectly reasonable, responsible man, and according to his daughter, did absolutely nothing but discipline him in reasonable ways. Grounded her, took away her car, and she wasn't used to it because her mother never did any of those things. Now, the fact that she, to you, was upset and crying and seemed unhappy with her father, that's not a reason for you to interfere in a family situation. I mean, if you took some time and if you let the situation take some time, there is a possibility that father and daughter could have worked things out. But instead, you hopped in there.
Your Honor?
Yes.
When Rashika called me, she told me her father did not have custody of her. Her mother had custody of her.
Miss Fuller, you knew she was living with her father?
Yes. We went to go get Rashika. Her mother and I went to go get Rashika. We took the Southgate police with us because Rashika and her mother said they were afraid for us to go there by themselves because he's a violent man and he had a lot of guns in the home.
Well, listen to me.
We took the Southgate police with us.
Listen to me. That was all a lot of baloney. She's back with her father. So whatever stories you got from either Rashika or her mother were not true, because if they were, and if she was genuinely fearful of her father because he has a violent temper and because he has guns in the house, she would not be living with him now.
Judge Judy is ready to rule. And later today...
So you gotta learn to get your story straight. Before you gave me some baloney story about you said, yes, you was gonna pay her back, but then your check was all messed up and you couldn't pay her back. Come on, get it together.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Doris Fuller wants Ray Lewanig to pay her for taking care of his daughter, Roshika. Ray says she took his daughter without his permission.
You butted in, and if you butted in, you gotta pay. So your lawsuit against this man is dismissed. And I suggest to you that before you take in any other teenagers and take them away from their custodial parents, and he was at that time the custodial parents, you better make darn sure that there is a good and valid reason. And that sometimes means leaving it up to professionals and stepping back. You're a biological stranger from this family. He didn't give his consent. He had absolutely no reason to have his child removed from his custody, other than the fact that, according to her, and I believe her, he disciplined her by grounding her when she did something wrong and by taking her car away. He's her father. He has an absolute right to do that. So, your lawsuit against him is dismissed. That's all.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She took it upon herself. I told her again and again, this is blood related. You're nobody.
You hadn't seen her
I'm
for
the father.
11 months, Ray.
Of course I never saw her because you hid her from me.
No, I didn't.
And now the next case.
Parties on Sanders versus Murray. Step forward, please.
23-year-old Heather Sanders wants her former good friend, 25-year-old Jennifer Murray, to pay her back for the repairs on her car.
You two were good friends?
Yes.
How long had you been friends?
For about 2 years, 2.5 years.
And Miss Murray, you had an accident with your car?
Yes.
What kind of an accident did you have?
Repair problem. The car broke down and it needed some repairs.
So you asked the plaintiff if she would put it on her credit card.
Well, actually, I told her that the car broke down, and she said that she could help me out, and then I agreed.
Doesn't sound 100% logical, but let's take it from there. So she put it on her credit card, the repairs,
Yes.
$627, something like that?
About, yeah, $646.
And what was the arrangement as far as paying back this money?
The arrangement was that she was going to pay me half within 2 weeks after the day that it was charged, and then the balance within another 2 weeks, so altogether within a month.
What happened?
I never got any of the money back. Well, I got $100. What happened was a month went by, and she said, well, I have over half of the money, and I'll give you over the half on Wednesday, October the 1st. So I went to her house that day to pick up the money, and she gave me a $100 bill, and she said, well, I don't have any more of the money, and I will pay you back when I can. Stop calling me, stop bugging me. And basically, that was it.
Go ahead.
That's pretty much what happened. She said that I told her that I would pay her back all the money, and I made arrangements to pay her back a couple of weeks when I got paid. But something happened with my check where I didn't get paid right away like I was supposed to, and I told her that they messed my money up or something. And she said that didn't matter. She wanted her money right then and there. I said, well, my job messed up my check. I don't have it, so I'm going to have to wait another 2 weeks until I get paid.
So why didn't you give it to her after another 2 weeks?
That's when I gave her the $100. I gave her what I could. I didn't have the full amount right away.
Well, what was your arrangement with her?
To originally pay her back after a couple of weeks, but when...
That's not what you said in your answer. Did you forget what you wrote in your answer?
No, she said pay her back whatever I can, but whatever I can, just as long as I pay her back the money.
You know, you keep changing your story, Miss Murray. But bottom line is, you owe her the rest of the money. Total bill was what? $676.14. Is that the bill?
Yes.
Is that the bill?
Yes.
All right.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
I'm just going to remind you, Miss Murray, that you swore in your answer that the agreement was that you put it on the credit card and you would repay back small amounts, small payments, just as long as the statement was covered for the month. And that the reason you didn't pay her back all the money is because then she said she wanted it all back at one time. So you got to learn to get your story straight.
That is what happened.
Well,
That's
you didn't tell me that before. Before you gave me some baloney story about it. You said, yes, she was going to pay her back, but then your check was all messed up and you couldn't pay her back. Come on, get it together. Okay. Judgment in this case for the plaintiff in the amount of $576.14. That's all.
Finders are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
She started off nice, and then she got irate, and then she started banging on my front door, and then she started making threatening comments and stuff, and she turned to a different person. She has an evil side to her, like she'll snap, like, I don't know, just weird stuff. Not friendship stuff.
There was no real friendship to begin with if money can come through, money can come between it.
He asked me to sleep with him and his girlfriend on 2 occasions.
And yet, she stayed at her landlord's guest house for 2 more years.
It's constant. His hitting on me, his sexual harassment.
Evidently, you found his comments to you not so terrible, not so harassing. They only became harassing, madam, when you owed him money. Your story is full of you rent.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Robinson, you have an interesting counterclaim. First, you want $5,000 because you say he sexually harassed you, which I assume you're going to tell me about.
I sure will.
And then you tell me that You don't owe him anything because your rent was paid directly by the government to him. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. How did you find the apartment in his house?
There was a sign, a for rent sign in front of the house.
And it was a private house?
It was a private house.
And who did you live there with?
I lived there with me and my 2 sons.
Now, you say that this was a Section 8 house, which means that the municipality where you live was paying the rent. How was that arrangement made with him?
I had Section 8, a Section 8 certificate, and Section 8 pays a portion of my rent.
A portion of your rent?
A portion of my rent.
Go ahead.
They send a check to Mr. Kravitz every month, and then I am to pay the rest. I have a contract here that states that I was to pay $32 and that they would pay the balance of my rent.
They were going to pay the balance, and your responsibility was only $32?
Exactly.
How much was the rental on this house, Mr. Kravitz?
$1,100.
Okay, and how large a house is this?
It's 2-bedroom, 1 bath, approximately 1,250 square feet.
And had you applied to be a landlord that had Section 8 coverage? Do you have to do that?
No, ma'am.
Well, then what did you have to do with Section 8?
She approached me, and here's the list that she signed to pay $1,100 for the rent. And then the reason she went to Section 8 is because apparently she wanted to save a certain amount of money and not to show, but the arrangement was that I will receive $1,100 total.
So when she came to rent your house, did she tell you at that time that she was going to apply for Section 8 housing?
No, only about a week and a half later, which after I checked the credit and everything else, and I told her I cannot because she didn't have a good credit, then she told me that I will have guarantee from a certain amount of money from the government to pay the portion of the rent, which the other section will be paid by the boyfriend that lived with her. So therefore, he will cover the rest of the $1,100.
So there was a boyfriend that lived with her for a while?
Yes.
Did the boyfriend move in with her?
Every time I used to come there, he was there.
You forgot about the boyfriend, Miss Robinson.
No, I didn't. Actually,
well, you said yourself and 2 sons. You didn't mention anything about a boyfriend.
Because there was no boyfriend. There was no boyfriend living with me in that house.
Was there somebody staying with you occasionally?
No, there was not. There was not.
Okay. Let me see the lease, please.
I'm sorry. This is a credit application.
Did you sign this lease?
I don't remember that lease. I did sign the lease with the contract with Section 8 and the Housing Authority.
All right, well, it may not prove to be terribly important if you agree, madam, that you agreed initially to pay him $1,100 a month rent.
Okay. Can I explain?
Did you agree to pay him $1,100 a month rent?
That was the rent that he asked. He asked for $1,100. Okay. What we agreed on was that Section 8 would come and inspect the house, and they would tell us what the market value is. I have a lease between him, myself, and Section 8, and it clearly states.
Let me see that. Let me see. Did you sign this 4-page document, sir?
Yes, sir.
You know what it says?
Yes.
What does it say? It says that she'll give you the difference of $32.
Yes, and I refused to rent it to her at this term, and she agreed. The boyfriend that lived with her will pay me. She will pay her, and she will pay me the difference, which was $300 different. I couldn't afford to rent the house this amount of money because my payment on the house is $1,200 a month, and I got the rent before at $1,100, and she knew it very well.
All right, now, Miss Robinson, I'm going to tell you right now that what this gentleman says has a ring of truth to it, and I'm going to tell you why. Because he owns a piece of property. He can set the value on his piece of property. He was renting the apartment, the house, for $1,100 a month. If you couldn't afford the house at $1,100 a month, if you didn't want to pay $1,100 a month, you leave. He was under no obligation to rent this place to you under whatever prevailing rate the government chose to give him.
Then he should not have signed the lease, and he should not have agreed to accept $842 for the
And you
apartment.
shouldn't have signed the lease agreeing to pay him $1,100.
That was an additional, that was a proposal that he had made. And I said, if Section 8 will go for that and allow that, then that's fine.
I don't believe that you said that to him. No way, because that doesn't have the ring of truth to it. That doesn't have a ring of truth to it. You said, I'll sign this, but if Section 8 only says they're going to give you $300 a month, then that's what I'm going to pay you, $300 a month.
Right, which I would not have moved in. Had he not agreed to it, I would not have moved in.
Oh, Ms. Robinson.
I would not have moved in.
Baloney. Baloney. You signed the lease, and then you went to Section 8 and said, come out and look at the house. And then they came out and looked at the house, and they said, this is what we think that the house is worth. Right? That's how it happened.
He signed
No,
that.
just a second.
Okay.
That's what happened. That's
I
the scenario. And you're already in there with your kids when Section 8 came out. I know how these things work. They work
That's
like
right.
mud going upstream. So you're already in there. They came out, and you said to him, if I can have the house because I like it, I'll pay you the difference. That's what you said to him. I know that. You know that. So do me a favor. Don't stand there and tell me no, because that's what happened.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Joe had a girlfriend, a very young, blonde girlfriend that he'd bring over. He asked me to sleep with him and his girlfriend on 2 occasions.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Joe Kravich is suing Nico Robinson for rent. Nico is countersuing Joe for sexual harassment.
So you left and you had, according to you, she was a delinquent in this additional money, and you were very forgiving of that for a long period of time. Why?
She had enough problems. She had to give back the car. She didn't have work. So I let her pay slowly and a section of it, which it started in August. And all the time she caught up. Even though she'd been late, she caught up with the payments until August. In August, started delinquent, and she didn't pay for a long time. And I've got the list exactly what she didn't pay, which she acknowledged that she owed me this amount of money. In February 10th, I wrote her a letter, 3 days to clear to pay.
Let me see the amount that she owes you in the letter. You acknowledge receiving this letter, Ms. Robinson?
Yes, I do.
And then she wanted me to tell her exactly what is the damages after she left me the house and this condition, which I'm, if I may, after about a month going back and forth, yeah.
Your Honor, I can explain the condition of the house. Joe had rented the house out before my actual contract in my new house was to start. Joe shows up one day, knocks at my door, and says, Nico, I need you to move out right away because I have someone that's going to move in, and I'm going to lose my new tenant if you don't move out. And I said, Joe, I can't move out until the new house is ready, and Section 8 has drawn up the contracts for me to move. Joe says, Nico, if you don't move out, again, I'm going to lose this tenant. So Jeffrey was present that day that he showed up at my house and says, okay, I'll go get a truck and we'll
Had
move.
you already received this 3-day notice to quit?
I received that notice months prior to me moving out.
Okay, and you didn't?
I received the notice.
Yes.
And I talked to Joe, and I also called the housing authority.
Yes.
And I told them, listen, I need your help at this point. They said if Joe's having a problem, he needs to contact the housing authority. He wanted nothing to do with the housing authority.
Neither did you, because you called according to your answer. You called the housing authority and said that you didn't like the conditions of the house. So they said to you, according to your papers, well, let us come out and take a look at the place. And you decided against that. You said at that point I was just fed up, so I decided to move.
Well, I had the toilet backing up constantly.
What I'm telling you is the housing authority said, we're prepared to come out and look at the complaints that you have with regard to the property.
But I did want to move.
You told them to forget it because you were moving anyway. That's what you wrote in your answer.
Okay.
You know, I've been around this block for a while. Now look, you left this place a disaster, and there is no excuse for that. There's no excuse for this.
There is an excuse for that, Your Honor.
Just a second.
I have to finish because
I'm listening to your excuse for this.
We moved out so quickly. We moved out that day. I didn't pack anything. When you move, you plan something. You plan to move, you get organized, you pack your things. You don't have 6 or 7 people just grabbing everything and throwing it into a truck, and that's what took place. We got a truck.
What day of the month did you move out?
You know what? I don't know the date.
What day of the month did she move out?
May 5th.
May 5th.
Who are you?
The tenant, the new tenant.
You're the new tenant.
I cleaned up the place.
Hey!
Sorry.
May 5th is not when you move out. You move out on the 1st of the month. That was the plan, to move out on the 1st of the month.
But I couldn't move the 1st
That's
of the month.
Listen, he's not related to you. He rented the apartment to somebody else to move in on the 1st of May. You haven't done anything. He's rented the house. You know he's rented the house. Now it's May 5th, and he says, "Nah, sorry, you really have to move." You said, "Well, like it was unexpected." It wasn't unexpected. Miss Robinson.
I was planning on being in the new house on the 15th of the month.
You were planning. He wasn't planning. This is not your father. This is not your brother. Right? This was your landlord, who you were already shorting $2,000 in rent.
That's not true.
Yeah, it's true. Come on, it's true. This is not nice. This is not nice.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So after he put this hit on you, a month after your lease, you stayed there 2 more years.
I had no choice. I can't just move.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Joe Kravich says Nico Robinson skipped out on rent. Nico says Joe sexually harassed her.
Miss Robinson, are you sure you want to tell me about the rest of your countersuit for $5,000 for sexual harassment?
Absolutely.
Are you positive?
I'm absolutely positively
Fine.
sure. I'd like
Tell
to
me
tell you.
about it.
When I first showed up at the house, I showed up with Mamie, my witness. When I walked in, Joe says, "You can have the house." And I'm like, wow, that easy? You can have the house? He says, "Oh yeah, you can have the house." There was no credit check. I never gave him a security deposit. I asked him what was the security deposit. "Oh, don't worry about it. You don't have to pay a security deposit." Joe had a girlfriend, a very young blonde girlfriend that he'd bring over. He asked me to sleep with him and his girlfriend on 2 occasions.
Just a second, when was this?
This was maybe a month into me moving there.
So a month after you moved in?
A month after I moved in.
And I assume you said no.
Of course I said no.
Give me next.
Next?
Next, come on.
It was constant. His hitting on me, his sexual harassment.
No,
his
sexual harassment is a conclusion, madam.
Okay, sure. Then that would be the conclusion of his actions.
That would be the conclusion. So after he put this hit on you, a month after your lease, you stayed there 2 more years.
I had no choice. I can't just move.
Listen.
I was a full-time student at that time with Section 8. I don't have the money just to go move.
Just like you moved into his house, you call the housing authority and you say, "Listen,
it's not that
this
easy.
is..." It's not that easy. Miss Robinson, I'm going to tell you something about allegations of sexual harassment. I take them very seriously. I think that anybody who is harassed in a workplace, who is harassed in a place of residence, whether it's a man or a woman, and legitimately making somebody else's life miserable because of their gender.
And he did.
That's serious. Your story is full of baloney. Because you didn't file a suit 2.5 years ago. You didn't file a suit last year. You didn't file a suit this year. You waited until he sued you for the money that you owe him. And then, unfortunately, women say, "I was sexually harassed." No. Oh, sure.
Okay.
Oh, sure you did.
That's not the case.
Well, because if you were so offended and started to think, as soon as you met this man, you just told me as soon as you met this man, He came on to you.
Sure did.
That would have been before you got in touch with Section 8, before you signed the lease, before you did anything else. Then what you do is you turn around, you say, thank you very much, and I'm leaving.
Yeah.
You didn't do that. So evidently you found his comments to you not so terrible, not so harassing. They only became harassing, madam, when you owed him money. And listen to me, sir. You made certain mistakes. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
How much did it cost you to clean up these premises, this mess?
It cost me $2,123.54.
Let me see.
Plus $805 that I have to give Wendy as a free rent. And if I may say, Wendy met Nico in March, the beginning of March, and they made arrangement for Nico to move,
Can I just tell my own? Thank you. Several things I want to say. I don't want to take up your time. First of all, upon the first moment of coming into this situation, when I talked to Renate, I saw the house in the recycler. Renate said, we just put it in, the recycler had just come out, it was in March. I went there, I had called Nico on the phone. She sounded like she'd been crying, but she said I could come over. I went over there. Upon the first minute of walking in the house, she went on and on to me about how wonderful Joe was as a landlord, and you must take the house. It's such a spiritual place. It'll be perfect for you, because I guess I'd mentioned I was an artist or whatever, and Joe is the best landlord. He'll take care of anything that you need. Oh, you must take this place. I made arrangements 3 times with the gas company, the DWP, and my mover friends, and had to cancel. Upon the 4th time I called, that's when actually everything stayed. I had to call and cancel, because she kept giving different dates. And, you know, she knew prior to May 5th that she had to be out, because we'd already made 3 dates.
When was the first date that you made?
I think the first was the 15th of April. Okay. And then we went to the first of the months, and it just...
Yeah, April 15th.
April 15th was the first...
So this didn't come as a surprise to you that she was moving in? So you should have had your stuff all boxed up and ready to go?
Right.
So that you didn't leave it like this pig pen?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Mr. Kravich, listen to me very carefully, sir. She owes you $1,960. I believe that she owes you that. If she had moved in like a normal tenant, you would have taken a month's security from her, which is $1,100, because that's what your lease was, right?
Right.
That would mean that she would have owed you $3,060. Right. I know that you're suing for more, but if she was just somebody who took off and you would have had her security deposit plus the money that she owes you for rent. So I'm giving you a judgment for $3,060. And I am dismissing, madam, your counterclaim as pure, unadulterated hogwash. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Continuously being over kind, and
that's the person that he is.
He's over kind to everybody.
I
hope you like his girlfriend. Have you met her? Oh, yeah, that's me. I'm his girlfriend.
No, honey,
you're not the one. I'm sorry.
Sorry, your husband was sleeping with someone else.
One of the bunch.
Oh,
I'm so dirty.
I am too.
I feel very sorry for your wife.
You bailed him out of jail 4 times.
When he didn't show up at court, his girlfriend lost the bail money.
I put a TV in her room. I bought her a VCR. I bought her numerous of clothes, shoes, and everything.
Anderson, pay the money, sir. Buying her a VCR and a television set and a couple of pairs of shoes doesn't wash. Boyfriend.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who you say owes you money because you bailed him out of jail?
Yes.
When was this? How many years ago?
Oh, no, it was in August.
And how much did this cost you?
$1,300.
You have a receipt for that from the bail bondsman?
Yes, I do.
How long had you been going out with him?
Okay, in the end, it was about 4.5 months.
So how long did you know him before you bailed him out?
3, I believe.
3 months. Tell me about this night that you got arrested. It was during the night?
Yeah, it's 3 in the morning. I just dropped Lori off at her house, And at the time, I was driving my truck through Richmond Heights, Missouri, and they flagged me because my plates weren't registered to the truck at the time.
How'd that happen?
They just ran my plates.
No.
Oh, okay.
How did it happen that you had the wrong plates on your truck?
I had just traded in my Grand Prix and just had the truck for about a good week or so. And they ran my plates. It was 3 in the morning, and they ran my plates and they flagged me, and that's when they got the warrants on me.
Well, they flagged you down. Your plates didn't have warrants on them, right?
Right, but
you
I
did.
did. Right.
You did. So they said license and registration.
Right.
And when they looked at your license, bingo. Now, how many warrants did you have, Mr. Anderson?
I had 14.
14 warrants.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't like to go to court, sir?
No, it was just at the time I didn't take care of them.
What kind of warrants were they?
Traffic.
All traffic?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's 3 o'clock in the morning in Missouri, and they haul you into jail.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And what do? You're entitled to 1 phone call. Who do you call?
First person I called was my grandmother. She had a 3-way.
And your grandmother said no.
My grandma, no, I knew my grandma didn't have the money. First person I called was Mahisha Vance. I called her first because...
Who is she?
That is my girlfriend.
Was she your girlfriend at the time?
No, we had separated and I started dating her, but I was still talking to her at the time.
So you called her first?
Yes, ma'am. I called her for a simple fact. I had a paid lawyer at the time. And I called then, after that, I called Laurie Calloway, but no one answered. So I called my mother. I told my mother to go get my truck. Therefore, she had went over to Laurie's house and picked her up. And from what my mother was telling me, that they told Laurie that basically.
Don't tell me what your mother says.
Okay.
They told
anyway.
Laurie. Did you speak to Miss Calloway?
No, I didn't speak to Miss Calloway. I spoke to my mother. My mother went and got Miss Calloway. Miss Calloway got my truck. Then, therefore, I told her at the time, I spoke to Laurie when I called her house and asked her, did she have my truck? I had gotten
So you did speak to Miss Calloway?
After I got to another municipality.
So you're on this bus going from one place to another to satisfy all these warrants?
Yes.
And you did, in fact, at one of those locations, call the plaintiff?
Yes, I did.
Now let's talk about the bail.
I spoke to Miss Calloway, and I told her at the time I had a paid lawyer. Yes.
What did you tell her you had to pay a lawyer for?
I had a paid lawyer I was going to get out. She decided she wanted to get me out before she go back to school so she could see me.
Shh. You had to pay a lawyer.
I had a paid lawyer.
You had a paid lawyer.
Plus, I had $375 in my property. Okay. And that she told me she bailed me out of all those counts. She only bailed me out of 3 counties because I had money in my property when I got locked up.
What do you mean money in your property?
I had money. When they locked me up, I had $375 in my property.
In your pocket, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, so you had $375 with you.
Yes.
But you needed another $1,300 to get out of jail.
13, it would have been like 900 or so with that.
Oh.
Because when I went to the county, when I went to Richmond Heights held me. I went to Wellston. I had $375 in my property because Richmond Heights didn't hold me.
Ms. Calloway, relax.
Richmond Heights didn't hold me for a bond. They just held me for the other counties. Okay.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
She spent $1,300 to get you out of jail. Now, I read something in here that you didn't show up when she got you out of jail. Did you default on this bail?
I showed up for my bail. I showed up for my court cases.
You did?
Yes.
Let me see the papers that you have.
Yes, ma'am.
You sure you showed up on all your cases? Think carefully. Did you show up on all your cases?
Think carefully.
Shh. That's very easy for me. Did you show up on all your cases, Mr. Anderson?
I don't think so.
Right. Shh. Right. And because you didn't show up on all your cases, The bail was forfeited. Isn't that what happens?
Yes.
Aren't you glad you told the truth?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I put a TV in her room. I bought her a VCR. I bought her numerous of clothes, shoes, and everything. I did not ask her to bail me out. She did this on her own.
And later today,
You want to be a bum?
No.
You're on your way.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Lori Calloway says she came to the rescue of her former boyfriend, Camise Anderson, and bailed him out of jail. Now she wants payback.
Let me ask you this question. When you went before the judge and you got bailed out, did you promise the judge you would come back?
Yes, it did.
So you lied. Right? Hama? Well, you didn't come back. Did you forget? You forgot. Mr. You forgot, right?
I probably missed one case.
You forgot.
Most definitely.
Most definitely. Now, you want to tell me, sir, why you think you don't owe her this money?
For the simple fact, if that was the case, then I should be counted suing her for what I've gave her. I've gave her numerous of things. I put a TV in her, I put a TV, that was before I got locked. I put a TV in her room. I bought her a VCR. I bought her numerous of clothes, shoes, and everything. I did not ask her to bail me out. She did this on her own.
Oh.
I had a paid lawyer, you know. And basically, I had a paid lawyer at the time.
What is
She
your
did this
lawyer?
on
Your
her-
lawyer wasn't giving you $1,300 to get out of jail. What difference it make? You keep saying you had a lawyer. Anderson, pay the money, sir. Buying her a VCR and a television set and a couple of pairs of shoes doesn't wash. You know, you have to be, how old are you?
26.
Are you working now?
Yes, I am.
If you want to drive a car, you have to be responsible. If you get a ticket, you have to show up. If you don't show up and you have a warrant issued and the judge says to you, do you promise to come back? You got to come back. And if because you forgot she lost her $1,300, you got to pay up $1,300 for the plaintiff. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Well, 2,500.
Who's stupid? Who's paying? I'm not.
But your man is.
All right,
but your man
that's the
is.
whole. That's the whole point.
Man
You're right. Did you
is.
hear yourself?
I
My
sure
man.
is. Your man.
My man.
And you can have him.
Okay, and I
you
got
can
him.
have
Had
him
him all the time.
And you can have him.
And I got him.
And you can have him. Both of y'all can talk to my diploma, because don't neither one of y'all have one.
And now the next case.
Parties on Maldonado versus Ashlock. Step forward, please.
34-year-old Anthony Maldonado claims neighbor Debbie Ashlock's 13-year-old nephew, Christopher Ashlock, vandalized his home.
You folks are neighbors.
Yes, we are.
Live in private houses?
Yes, ma'am.
How close to each other do you live?
10 feet apart.
So you're right next door neighbors.
Right.
How long have you been neighbors?
About 4 years.
This is your nephew?
Yes.
The nephew at issue?
That's correct.
How long has he been living with you?
7 years.
How old are you, young man?
13.
What's your name?
Chris.
Mr. Maldonado, according to your complaint, this young man causes a lot of damage to your property.
Correct.
Miss Ashlock says she can't be responsible for all the neighborhood kids. Whatever damage her nephew has, in fact, caused to your property, she's prepared to pay for. Let's hear about the fence, because the fence seems to be something that you agree you're responsible for, or this young man is responsible for. What happened to your fence, and what kind of fence was it?
It's a cinder block wall that I ended up putting up on my own. She wasn't able to afford to pay her part of it. I did urge her to try to help me with it because it was a very large wall and it was
Mr.
expensive.
Maldonado.
Yes, ma'am.
We're not going back to the flood, sir. I want you to tell me about the damage to the fence that he caused.
He removed all the grout, ma'am.
All the grout?
Yes.
Explain to me how he removed the grout from the cinder blocks, sir.
He must have had a lot of energy because, he dug into the grout, into the blocks, with, I believe, some sort of sharp instrument, maybe a screwdriver or something. I saw both, actually him and two of his friends, who are my other next-door neighbors, doing that.
Did you sue them?
I did not sue them because I actually saw him with the device. And,
yeah, but they were all doing it, you said.
Well, they were all within the vicinity, yes. Eventually, they all admitted.
All right, so how much did this cost you to regrout the fence?
Actually, there was estimates for $60 to just regrout it, which isn't much. I guess it's mostly the principal. I've had a lot of problems with them.
Let me explain something to you.
Right.
This is a court.
Right.
So if there was damage caused that you saw, or that you have a witness, and that witness saw, I'm prepared to hear that. So I want you to tell me, other than this grout, which costs $60, okay, so 20 bucks of that we will attribute to him because he was there with two other people who were probably all chipping away at the grout, right?
Yes.
And what were you using to chip away at the grout?
Stick, Your Honor.
What else did you see him do?
I saw them throwing stones this one afternoon before I left for work. He and his two friends again over onto my yard. It's always happening on their side of the house. They were throwing stones. I alerted them not to throw any more. And when I left for work, I come back late at night. I noticed that there were cracks in my skylight. And it was raining, so it started leaking. I went up there, found out that there was also bricks up there that had been thrown up there purposely to crack my skylight open.
But, Mr. Maldonado, you didn't see who did that?
I didn't actually see the person that threw the exact stone, no, Your Honor.
Or the bricks?
Right.
Tell me, Mr. Maldonado, what other damage you actually saw, if any, Chris do to your home?
I've had also an assault. I mean, that time that I caught them digging into the grout, they were assaulting me with dirt clods. That's one of the...
Throwing dirt clods at you?
Right. And some of them did hit me.
All right, so what I'm gathering from this, Mr. Maldonado, is other than the business with the grout, you didn't actually see Chris here do anything to your property, but you surmised it was Chris and his friends because you're a pretty good guesser.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Every time Chris turned around, Anthony was blaming him for something that he didn't do. Excuse me, but the last 2 years have been very stressful with this neighbor.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Anthony Maldonado says his neighbor's nephew, Christopher Ashlock, damaged his property.
No. You go to school?
Yes.
Did you get a report card last year?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
Not really good.
You know, Chris, I could have told you that. You want to be a bum?
No.
You're on your way. Jump! Because he can't prove to me that you did, or not you alone, you with other neighborhood kids, you with a couple of friends. He can't prove to me that you did all the damage to the house, so that I can't charge you for it. You know if you did it. And if you're spending your time vandalizing somebody else's property rather than going to school and trying to make something of yourself, then you're going to grow up to be a bum. That's what's going to happen. What are you going to do for Mr. Maldonado to correct this damage that you've been doing to his house?
We've already fixed it.
You fixed it?
Yeah.
Tell me what you fixed.
The wall.
Mm-hmm. Did he fix the wall?
It was very haphazardly done, yes.
But
Yes,
it's
Your Honor.
fixed.
Yes.
You going to bother him anymore?
No, I haven't bothered him for a long time. It was a couple years ago that we did this to his wall.
Miss Ashlock, is there anything you want to say?
Yes, in Christopher's defense, the wall, excuse me, but the last 2 years have been very stressful with this neighbor. But the wall was an accumulation of his, it was like Christopher's frustration. He realizes it was wrong and he shouldn't have done it. And we had to talk about it and he was punished for it and I fixed the wall.
Okay.
And it didn't cost $60, it was free. But in his frustration out of Anthony doing all these things to him, every time Chris turned around, Anthony was blaming him for something that he didn't do. It was his way of retaliating against somebody a little bigger than he is.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY.
My sense is, Miss Ashlock, that Chris has a lot of frustrations. His parents aren't together, lived with his father. Father not around anymore, he's with his aunt and his grandmother, and decided doesn't have both feet planted right, and his school is suffering, and he's hanging around with kids and getting himself into trouble. All of those things are probably true, right?
They were maybe 6 months ago.
Okay, well, if he's back on track, that's really good. And I'm pleased to hear that. You sound like a very nice lady. So your wall is fixed, and you can't prove that Chris did any other damage. You probably felt it, but can't prove it. So, Mr. Maldonado, there isn't an award that I can give you, sir. You understand that?
I understand that.
I believe that you understand that your neighbor is a nice lady. And is trying her best under difficult conditions. Right?
I realize that, ma'am.
Good. So, try to be understanding. And you gotta realize that when you take on this kind of responsibility, sometimes there are problems and you gotta deal with them.
And I do, I try to.
I know you do. I wish you a lot of good luck.
Thank you.
Because it's gonna be, how old is your niece?
10.
How do you do in school?
Good.
Yes?
She's on the honor roll.
Great. I'm pleased to hear that. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Out the back door.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I have lived with this man for the last 2 years, constantly harassing me. I just want him to leave me alone. Just forget I live there. You stay on your side of the fence, we'll stay on ours.
I will. Just have your kids, not vandalize my property.
Do not vandalize your property.
Well, she didn't know the entire story. Their family is clearly dysfunctional. They have problems. They can't seem to relate to anyone else besides within themselves, their own family. And I'm probably going to have to put up with it until I move or until something else happens.
The engagement didn't ripen into a marriage and you broke up.
Now that the love is gone, the would-be groom wants back the money he spent on his never-to-be bride.
I think I deserve punitive damages.
I assumed that we were going to be married, and in the course of our relationship, that it would all wash out in the end.
I'm not going to go through all this. Where are the $500?
Sir?
You folks were engaged according to these papers and moved into a house together. The engagement didn't ripen into a marriage and you broke up.
Correct.
You say she owes you some money.
She agreed at the time that we broke up to pay the phone bill, which was approximately 80% hers, while she did not work the 3 months while we were engaged and living together, she made numerous calls, and the phone bill equaled almost $500, and she made probably 80% of the bill, and she agreed at that time to pay for that. No, for the phone bill, and then, half of the utilities, half of the rent. She only gave me $940 the entire time after we moved in.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Just a minute.
And she gave me that $940, but the bills were considerably more than that, obviously. I mean, you know, what she should have paid, all told, is $1,371.19. That's if we split the bills in half. But I said, once you just pay the phone bill, she agreed to that. She was going to pay it after her first check from her new job. She had just gotten a job right at the time we split up, and she was to pay me at the 1st of August when she got paid, and she did not. Then she put it on, and she said, I'll pay you the next month. The next month came. She did not. In the meantime, I had to borrow money from my parents in order to pay the phone bill, which was $500, so I could get another phone later. And at that time, she didn't pay in September. She promised me by the end of the month. I called near the end of the month. She told me she had no intention of paying me. She didn't feel she owed me the money, and that I would just have to sue her.
Okay.
And
my first question to you, Mr. Bledsoe, is this. You say that during the course of the 3 months that you lived together, she should have paid you $1,371.
If we were to have half.
If you were to split the
half.
expenses. And she paid you $940.
Correct.
Which leaves $431 if you were to split the bills in half.
Correct.
And you say that she agreed to pay the $500 phone bill in place of that. So she's really paying $69 more than she should have.
However, I also paid one of her truck payments for $277.97 on my credit card, and she was supposed to pay me before the following month, before interest accrued on that amount, and she did not. And then the next month, she had another bill, and she wanted me to do the same thing, charge my credit card.
Just a minute, Mr. Bledsoe. So, is what you're saying you forgave everything as long as she paid the $500 phone bill?
It was a settlement. It was nothing more than a settlement.
What I'm asking you is what you're saying that in lieu of the truck payment and the $431,
yes,
that you were prepared to accept the $500 phone bill?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Now I'll hear from you.
Okay, Your Honor, we need to back up, because when I agreed to marry Robert Bledsoe, who I loved dearly at that time, he had convinced me that I should quit my full-time teaching job.
I'm not interested in that.
Okay. Well, I moved to Alta Loma, where we rented a house. Okay, he borrowed $1,600 from his mother and father, Mr. and Mrs. Richard Bledsoe. When I received my very last teaching check, which was of $1,400, I gave him $1,200 cash for the deposit. So he gave his parents a $1,200 cash, which left $400 that he had to give them. When things didn't work out between us, okay, I lost my $1,200 deposit.
Well,
but I have to say that I worked the entire time. I was a substitute teacher.
Just a minute.
And I have my pay.
Just a second.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because I read that in the answer, and Mr. Bledsoe, you seem to have left that out, although you do indicate that she paid for 3/4 of the deposit, the security deposit.
She did.
On the house.
Yes.
And that was lost.
Yes.
And that was $1,200?
The security deposit was at $825. Then there was $825 for first month's rent.
Well, let's not count the first month's rent because you lived there.
Right.
Let's talk about the $825.
Yeah. But we had to come up with... I'm sorry, Your Honor.
She paid the $825.
No. Well, she paid $1,050, and then I paid $600, which equaled $650. $1,650, which was the full move-in.
So she paid more than you did?
Oh, yes.
How much more?
At $400.
Okay. So she paid $400 more than you did, which she lost.
She lost that, yes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I cannot prove that I gave him cash, and that's a sorry thing that I didn't get receipts from my fiancé when we were going out, because I assumed that we were going to be married, and in the course of being married, that it would all wash out in the end.
And later today...
Did you ever tell your sister that this was a gift?
No, I did not, Your Honor.
She probably can't even come today and look me in the eye and say that. That's why she's not here.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Robert Bledsoe wants his former fiancée, Renee Lynn Bryant, to repay him for past due bills. Renee says he made her quit her job to move in with him.
Well, it seems to me, Mr. Bledsoe, that what's fair is fair. If she lost $400 more than you did, she has to be given credit for that. Don't you believe so?
Well, no, because I offered her at the time that we were about to split up. We agreed to stay together even after we agreed to leave the house. And we had to leave the house just because I had given them a check to pay for the rent that month in July, but I didn't have the funds. She only gave me $200 to cover that. She was unable to pay her half of the rent that month.
Now,
however, I was able to pay my half of the rent.
But that's my next question to you, Mr. Bledsoe, because I read your papers very carefully, sir. You say the last month that you were there, she gave you $200 towards the rent. You wrote out a check for the entire rent, gave it to the landlord. And how much was the entire rent?
$825.
But then you stopped payment on that check.
I had to stop payment on that.
What did you do with the $200 that she gave you?
Oh, I began paying bills. I began paying the bills. Most of the bills.
Just a minute. We've already talked about the bills. The bills were the original $1,371 that you said that you had all together. What did you do with her $200? Did you give it back to her?
No. She told me I could keep it.
Well, so far, let me understand
because
this, Mr. Bledsoe.
Because she owed me money.
Right, but she can't keep owing you money if she keeps giving you money, sir. She gave you $200, all right?
That's
so
part
far,
of the $940. That is not in addition to the $940. That is part of the $940, the $940.
Oh,
I have just added up everything she ever gave me.
So you are giving her credit. The $940 includes the $200?
Correct.
But it doesn't include the deposit.
It doesn't include the $400.
And it doesn't include the money that I made as a substitute teacher working for Altaloma, Cucamonga, and Riverside that I gave him cash.
Yes, it does.
Well, just a second.
All you
just
gave
a
me
second.
was
You
cash.
can't prove that you gave him the cash. Just a
that I
second.
didn't give. Excuse me, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
All right. So we have $940, and I'm adding on to the $940 $400, which is the deposit.
However, it should only be $200 more because if I was to pay half, I only needed to pay $200 more.
She lost $400.
Right.
She lost $400. You lost.
I lost $200.
But you're already getting. Just a second. You're already getting credit for that, sir.
No, she lost $600. She
paid $400 more than you did.
Right. She paid $400.
$400 more than you did. That's all that I'm interested in. Well, that evens out the $1,371. So now all we're down to is truck payment, $277.97. Do you owe him that?
No, Your Honor.
Why not?
Because I assumed since I had paid more the deposit that was his way of giving me back some of the money.
No, I've given you credit for that.
Okay.
I've given you credit
I gave
for that.
him, you see, you're right. I cannot prove that I gave him cash, and that's a sorry thing that I didn't get receipts from my fiancé when we were going out because I assumed that we were going to be married. And in the course of our relationship of being married, that it would all wash out in the end. And I did get a full-time job, and, you know, obviously things didn't work out.
Shh, listen to me.
Yes, Your Honor.
$277 is for the truck payment. It didn't work out, so you have to pay for your own truck payment.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you had a $500 phone bill. Show me the $500 phone bill. Is this $1,300 that you gave me, including all the utility bills and everything else?
And yes.
Well, then it includes the telephone.
Yes. I didn't say that it didn't.
I thought you had
sorry.
an ending bill of $500,
No, when I
sir.
said utilities, I
Well,
was
I've already
including
taken
phone.
care of the utilities. It's a wash. The utilities and her additional $400 plus the money she gave you is a wash. So she owes you for the truck payment, $277.97, not $1,100. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $277.97. Thank you. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I just want to forget about it all. But I want to say, you ladies out there, get your receipts for cash.
And now the next case.
Bodies on Mackins versus Richardson. Step forward, please.
Hairdresser Terry Mackins is suing her brother-in-law, George Richardson, for a house loan and money for a stove. George says Terry is retaliating because he beat up her brother.
This is your brother-in-law?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
And he is married to your sister?
Yes, he is.
According to your complaint, you lent your brother-in-law and your sister some money?
Yes.
For house? And also sold them a stove?
Yes.
They refused to pay you for either?
As of this date, yes.
So first tell me, how much was this loan towards the house and how it came about?
I loaned my sister and my brother-in-law $700. My sister and my brother-in-law called me and asked me if I would lend them this money so they can go to closing on their home. I got cash. I got a check from my credit union account, got it mailed to me, and I got it cashed. And I gave them the cash money for their
So far, is that correct?
Yes.
And in December, we had bought our own home. And our home, in our kitchen, we wanted to do our kitchen over again. We had a brand new kitchen, and we got rid of the cabinets, and we sold my brother-in-law and my sister the stove for $150, which was to be payable as soon as they got the money as well. So that's the $850 I'm asking
Well, tell
for.
me how the sale of the stove came about.
My brother-in-law was over our house, and we had talked to him about we were getting rid of certain things in our kitchen. And we told him we were selling the stove and how much we wanted for it, and he said he wanted it. And Reginald Bear, who's my witness, delivered the stove to their house.
Okay. So, what's your story?
Well, my story is the $700 was at first given on a, well, we actually told her we was going to pay her back when we had a lawsuit and we was getting ready to settle. And we
What
said,
kind of lawsuit?
A car accident. And we were going to pay her back the money that she loaned us for the house. And Terry told us it was a gift. She gave us this money.
He's lying, Your Honor.
Just a second.
No.
Just a second.
She gave the money to my wife. My wife initially told her that we were going to pay her back. And then she came back about, what, day later, because she calls every day, every morning, 7 o'clock, and she said, forget about the money, it's a gift. It's a housewarming gift. That's what she told my wife.
Just a second.
Sure.
Where's your wife today?
She's home. She's disgusted with the whole thing.
Just a second. You just told me that the conversation that she had, allegedly, was with your wife.
Right, and she...
Well, then I'm not
me.
hearing that conversation, because that's hearsay.
So is disagreement with us giving it back to her.
No, sir. Shh. Sit down. I'm not ready to hear you yet.
No problem.
No, sir. You just acknowledged that your original agreement with her, when you called to ask her for the money, was that you were going to pay her back.
Right.
And according to your sister-in-law, she has lent you money before, and you have paid her back.
Plenty of times.
And you have paid her back.
This was a gift, Your Honor.
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He's lying.
And no.
No, don't speak to him. You speak to me. Hey, sir, speak to me.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Terry Mackins wants the money back she gave her brother-in-law, George Richardson. George says she's only suing because he beat up her brother.
Listen to me, sir. You're not following what I'm saying to you.
I completely
You
understand.
first said to me that it was a loan, and you agreed
No,
to pay her back.
Okay.
And you agreed to pay her back. That was your understanding.
Right.
She gave you the money, and I assume you and your wife went to the closing on the house with her money, right?
Yes, we did.
And when you did that, the intention was to pay her back.
Right.
Now you tell me that she had a conversation with your wife who was not present, and your not present wife told you that it was a gift. That's what you just told me.
That's exactly what I said.
Right. Did you ever tell your sister that this was a gift?
No, I did not, Your Honor.
She probably can't even come today and look me in the eye and say that. That's why she's not here.
That is
No,
why
that's
she's
not
not
true.
here.
Absolutely.
That's not
Absolutely,
true.
that's why she's not here,
That's
because...
true. My sister, my wife is disgusted with my sister-in-law because this whole thing is all just a payback thing because I beat her brother up.
Why did you beat her brother up?
Because he assaulted me.
Your Honor, this is why we're here in court today.
Right.
This is why my brother-in-law is not paying me back, because I called him up the day after he fought my brother, and I kind of like told him about himself because what he did was not necessary. The whole thing is, George and Wendy owes me money, and I would like my money back. I don't have $700 to give nobody. I work very hard for my money, and I never told Wendy it was a gift.
Stove. You had the stove in your house. How did the stove get to your house?
Reginald brought it over to my house.
Oh, okay. Now tell me under what circumstances Reginald brought it over to your house.
Reginald called me up and said, though, you want the stove? I said, well, look, I haven't talked to Wendy. Wendy's my wife. I said, I haven't talked to Wendy because we have gas. And I said, we have to decide, you know, if she want to convert. So he says, well, listen, I'm trying to get the stove out of the house. Can I bring it over? So I said yes. I didn't consult the Wendy because Wendy was at work. So next day he brought it over. And when he brought it and I got an enclosed porch in the front of the house, so it's set on the porch. And so I finally got around and talking to Wendy about the stove. So Wendy decided, we both decided that we didn't want to convert to electric. So I called them. I called them numerous times. Come get the stove. I even had a cookout at my house. Reggie was trying to make me buy the stove. No, man, you got to buy the stove. I'm like, what's up with this? So I called them, told them, come get the stove.
He's lying.
No, don't speak to him. You speak to me.
Listen to your answers,
sir, speak to me.
I called them, told them to come get the stove. They would not come to get the stove. The stove stayed on my porch running for almost 8 months. So my wife stayed on my back about, get the stove off the porch. I got a little 2-year-old. He's climbing up on the range and pulling the grill out and everything.
So you sold it.
Right. So I sold the stove. I sold the stove for $30 just to get my wife off my back.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Reginald, now you step up, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, how are you related to the plaintiff?
That's my fiance.
Okay, so now tell me about the stove.
When I took the stove over there, I told him, you don't have to rush and pay me the $150, but I charged him $150 for the stove and $100 to install it because I am a licensed electrician.
Did you install it?
No, I did not. What I did, I dropped the stove off on his porch.
Well, how could he use it if you didn't install it?
Well, I told him when he's ready to get it installed, I would install it for him. So, in return, I took the stove over, put it on the porch, left it there. After the occasion with the fight with him and her brother, we called him up and told him we would like to be paid for our $700 as well as our $150 for the stove. The gentleman turned around.
All right.
He turned around.
Sir, what I've done is I have now warned you. This is the 4th time, and I've gotten tired of warning you. So, $700 is what you owe them for the loan, and $150 for the stove. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $850. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He's still lying.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Wendy,
like I
trust
said,
me,
Wendy,
I'm a benefit. I've been with Wendy for 15 years.
If you're not with him, and if you need something, you can come to me.
Don't
never ask me nothing as long as you have this guy with you.
He's elite. Your so-called fiance.
Keep the parasite.
You claim
Keep the
everything
parasite.
she owns.
Keep the parasite.
Everything she owns. If it wasn't for her, you'd still be wearing polka dots and stripes.
He's elite.
And what are you wearing?
I'm matching.
Polka dots and stripes.
Damn right.
Hello.
They damn right. And it's
Thank
all
you.
name brand.
She'd been drinking, and I wouldn't let her in the house. She'd staggered off into the woods.
And I heard her call out, "Help me."
When his ex-girlfriend arrived drunk, he locked her out. She crashed the car and wandered into the woods. Then her dad arrived.
I hit him in the stomach.
Anger is a much easier emotion for people to live with than sorrow.
Step forward, please.
59-year-old insurance broker Phil Schnabel says Steve Timmons broke his car windshield and bent his antenna in a fight over Phil's missing daughter.
All rise. Judge, this is case number 308 on the calendar in the matter of Schnabel versus Timmons. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Schnabel, this lawsuit really has its genesis in a problem with your daughter. Is that right?
That's correct.
From what I gather from these papers, and I try to sift through them because they were kind of difficult to follow, your daughter was in a relationship with a defendant.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Something happened, which you're going to tell me about, and you claim that he damaged your car.
That's correct.
Why don't you tell me how that came about, sir?
Your Honor, it was the evening of June 27th of this year, and I was at home I lived about 35 miles from the residence that my daughter shared with Steve. It was about 9:30 in the evening. I received a phone call from my daughter saying, "Dad, come get me. I'm at Steve's." And she hung up.
Had she ever done that before, sir?
She had.
How many times?
Once.
How long had she been with him?
8 months, probably. That's a guesstimate.
And how old is she?
32.
Go ahead.
I called back and immediately, and Steve answered the phone, said that she had been drinking, that she was intoxicated, that he had thrown her out of the house, that she had left in her car, and I said, "I'll be right there." I arrived, asked him, "Where is she?" "I don't know, don't care," in effect. Immediately across the street from the duplex that they shared is a large primitive area, probably 80, 100 acres of Douglas fir, undergrowth, nettles, blackberries, a very steep ravine. And at that point, we're standing in the front yard, and I heard her call out, "Help me." And it came from the vicinity, or this primitive area. I took off toward the area, and a neighbor came out because I was calling her name, and by now it's 11 o'clock, 11:15, somewhere in that vicinity. And I was not getting an answer back. I just could hear, "Help me." And they came out, loaned me a flashlight. I tried to get down, but it was just too steep. I went back to the house and engaged Steve in a discussion. We got in an argument, and
Well,
I asked him,
tell me about that.
Well, I asked him, I said, "Why didn't you keep her here? If she was intoxicated, why didn't you keep her here?" And he says, "Well, I couldn't control her, and I threw her out. She got in her car, she went down, missed the corner, ran into a neighbor's yard, blew up a tire, took out a bunch of their cyclone fence, backed the car out, managed to get it back into the driveway, and then he threw her out again." And with that, obviously, she took off. I said, "You know, you're part of the problem." And with that, he said, "Go find your effing psycho daughter and get the F out of here." And I realized that he didn't care anything for my daughter. And I hit him in the stomach and tried to hit him in the jaw and missed, and he jumped back, and we stood there looking at one another, and finally I said, "This isn't finding her. I'm leaving." I bent down, picked up my cell phone that had fallen on the ground, walked over to my car, around on the passenger side, opened the door, and in a rage he came running over to the side of the passenger side of the car, took the heel of his hand, smashed it into the windshield. I said, "Now that's going to cost you." Got into the car, turned the key, and of course the power antenna came up. Well, he's standing right there, so he grabs that, he bends that over, he grabbed the windshield wiper and he spun that around, and I backed out and left.
Does your daughter have a drinking problem?
She does.
For how long?
To my knowledge, about, probably 5, 6 years, as it turns out. It's been fairly
Before
well
she
hidden.
met Steve?
Yes.
All right, well, there are a lot of questions that I have for you, but I'm going to let Mr. Timmon tell me his version of what happened that night. Go ahead, sir.
Well, his daughter has a problem drinking, and we've gone through it for a long time and tried on numerous occasions to get her help. I told her if there was another incident with the police that she was going to have to move out. And when it did happen, when she was released into Phil's custody.
You mean there had been an arrest before?
2 weeks before.
Is that right, Mr. Schnabel?
That's correct.
What happened in that incident?
Again, she was at my house drinking, and police got involved and arrested her for that. And that was the last straw.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
You decided it wasn't your problem anymore. But you, just as a human being, you don't allow somebody who's intoxicated to go wandering off into the brush where she could have really been killed.
And later today,
You didn't give me the money until Friday.
Till Friday, you got the money way before then.
No, I didn't.
Now,
you know what? I kept a journal
Miss-
of everything.
Well, kept a journal
Miss
of
Landros,
you got the money.
Talk to the judge, please.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Phil Schnabel says his daughter's ex-boyfriend, Steve Timmons, damaged his car during a fistfight. Steve claims Phil's daughter is an alcoholic and caused the incident.
Okay. Tell me what happened with his car. After he assaulted you, where did he hit you?
In the chest and in the head.
That's pretty much what he says. What happened with his car?
I told him after he did that I was going to call the police, and he needed to leave my property. So we walked to his car. He was screaming and yelling. I was screaming and yelling. I hopped in his car, started it up, started revving the engine up, and just sitting there. As I approached his car and told him that he needed to leave and that I was going to call the police, he put it in gear. I pushed up against his car. I don't know why, but didn't know if he was coming after me or my car or what the deal was. He put it in gear.
So the bottom line is, on that evening, gentlemen, you both lost your tempers.
That's correct.
Mr. Schnabel, what I found interesting in your complaint, sir, is that you physically put your hands on the defendant first.
I did.
Out of anger.
I did.
And yet you're complaining that he, according to you, put his hands on your car out of anger, right?
After I'd indicated that I was leaving.
What difference does it make?
Okay.
I mean, you expect a certain amount of compassion as a result of your being very upset. You assaulted him because you were upset that he hadn't taken better care of your daughter, right?
That's correct.
He didn't sue you for assault.
There was some pushing prior to that, so. Well,
No, there
incidental
wasn't pushing.
That's correct.
You know, even according to your complaint, there wasn't incidental pushing. You lost your temper. While I'm sympathetic because you clearly have a situation in your family that's tragic, but Mr. Schnabel, I'm unsympathetic, sir, with your lawsuit against the defendant. Unsympathetic for whatever damage he caused to your car, because you expect him to understand your frustration, which resulted in you really assaulting him. I mean, you told me in your papers. You punched him in the stomach, you said you hit him in the head, and yet even if he got so angry because he was assaulted that he smashed the windshield of your car, which was in movement, clearly.
No, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
It was just sitting there? You were sitting in the car?
I wasn't even in the car yet when he smashed the windshield.
You mean you assaulted him and then he went and hit your car?
That's correct. I was.
Instead of hitting you, he hit your car.
It wasn't because he didn't try, Your Honor.
But you hit him first,
That's
Mr.
correct.
Schnabel.
I did.
All I can tell you, sir, is this. Anger is a much easier emotion for people to live with than sorrow or frustration. It's much easier to be angry with somebody else than it is to internalize within your own family situation. He didn't create the situation with your daughter. According to you, it's been going on for a long time, even before she met him. So it's not his fault. I mean, if it were his fault, they would have been together for years and he would have been an enabler with her. But I don't get that sense. I get the sense you've been having difficulty with her for a long time. He got frustrated, finally. Mr. Timmon, what you did wasn't the right thing. You understand that, sir?
I do.
There are certain things that you can do to be protective just as a human being. I understand that you were frustrated. I understand that she had a problem. You had a short-term relationship. You decided it wasn't your problem anymore, right? And you wanted clear of it. But you, just as a human being, you don't allow somebody who's intoxicated to go wandering off into the brush where she could have really been killed. You would have felt terrible. It's a very unfortunate situation. But Mr. Schnabel, the defendant understood that. I have no countersuit here for assault. He certainly didn't press charges against you for assault, which he could have. The damage to your car was $400. That's what the punch is going to cost you, sir. This case is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Back to your right, please.
And now the next case.
Parties on Landeros versus James. Step forward, please.
24-year-old Marlo Landeros says her former friend, 23-year-old Latasha James, owes her $240 for a cell phone bill.
Miss Landeros, you claim that the defendant owes you $240 for a cell phone bill.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me how that came about.
Okay, Latasha James, she's a former friend of mine in which I met at our previous employment about 5 months ago. And sometime in August, she purchased a cellular phone which she was only able to activate by prepaying for her minutes. And then in a conversation she had one time, she said that the sales rep at the phone company had told her that if she knew somebody with the phone that she could get it connected so it would be cheaper for her. We took it.
She had the phone. She had bought the phone.
Yes, she purchased the phone. She gave me her phone to take to my phone company and to activate it under our account so she wouldn't have to prepay for her minutes. In other words, when the bill came in, I would tell her how much it was. It would be cheaper for her. And that's why I was doing this favor for her. And when I did it, I let her know. I said, well, I'm on a one-year contract. I said, they're probably going to put you on a contract also. She gave me $55 just in case if they did require anything.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
The reason that you asked her to co-sign for you is that you wouldn't have to prepay.
Correct.
Of course I'm correct.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Marlo Landeros is suing Latasha James because she didn't pay for a $240 cell phone bill. Latasha claims she owes much less.
Okay, so you went.
Yes.
And you activated her phone.
That's correct.
And how much did it cost you?
I was required to put down a $50 fee for activation fee.
And she had given you $55.
Yes,
so you
I
had
returned the $5 to her.
She returned the $5?
Yes, she did. Okay. When I went to return the phone to her house that night, I went in and it was a pink paper. And I said, here's your phone number. I said, I said, you
So she had a phone number and she had her phone?
Yes, and it was working.
Okay, correct?
Correct.
Good.
The next time I called her was when the first bill was due, and I called where we used to work. She wasn't there. It was a Friday, and I called her on a Friday because we used to get paid every Friday.
So you called her and you said, bill due?
Yes. Okay.
How much was the bill, her bill?
$42. Okay.
Did she give you the $42?
Yes, she did. She paid me after the due date. Yes.
Okay. So far you're beginning to learn your lesson.
Yes.
When was the next bill that came in?
Okay, the next bill came in 2 weeks later because the bill arrived early. So I wanted to notify her early because that bill came to $192.27.
Did she pay you the $192.27?
No, she has not paid me the $192.27.
Where do we get to $240?
$240 is the one-year contract that I made, and I did tell her of. And I cut off her phone.
You cut off the phone, but
so it's for the remaining 10 months.
How much a month?
$24 a month.
Well, it's $24 a month, but what about the $192.27?
She hasn't paid me that. She has promised to pay me, but she has not paid me.
How much do you owe the phone company right now on her behalf?
$614.20.
Did you say that you were planning to pay the bills?
Okay, Your Honor, to clarify the whole bill situation. When I got the phone with her, I did give her $55. She did connect my phone for me. She brought my phone to me. She brought me my $5, okay? 2 weeks later, she calls me. I go, how much is the bill? She told me how much it was. When I got the money a couple of days later, she called.
What do you mean when you got the money?
I had to get the money together because I got the message kind of late and I had to pay child care. So I got the money from a family member. 2 weeks later, she calls me again. She goes, the phone bill came in, you owe me $192. And I'm like, okay. I go, I want to see this bill. She goes, okay, you can see the bill. So I'm thinking she's going to bring me the bill the next couple of days, drop it off to me.
Why didn't you go pick it up?
I don't know where she lives at.
Why does she have to come to you to show you your bill for your phone?
Well, I could have got it, but the time I get off work, it's really late at night time. I get off at around almost 9 o'clock at night.
So?
Well, I could have did that.
You didn't, so you owe her this $192.27.
And I don't have a discrepancy with owing her the $192. The discrepancy is the $240. I never received a contract. I never seen a contract. My contract was not a year. Mine was as I prepaid it. That's how mine was.
You weren't prepaying, madam. The reason that you asked her to co-sign for you is that you wouldn't have to prepay.
Correct.
Of course I'm correct. Right now, it seems to me that you asked this lady, who was really a stranger, to do you a favor, to put your phone on her bill.
Correct.
And if you think that I'm going to allow her to be out one dime.
I'm not saying that she's allowed to be out one dime. I owe her $192.
No,
That's
she's going to be billed on her phone for a year's contract for you.
A year's contract that I did not tell her to cancel. She brought me the bill the day it was due. If she would have brought me my bill before then, not the day it was due, and then called me the next day and asked me for money, and my phone is disconnected, I'm only going to pay what I owe, and all I owe her is $192, not $240. I did not tell her to cancel the service.
Miss James, she canceled the service because she was having a lot of aggravation with you.
She didn't have any aggravation with me. She called me on the phone.
I could see that she was having a lot of aggravation because first you tell her the first bill that's a small bill, you tell her
there was never a bill. I asked her for the bills before then. I never seen any bills.
The first time she called and told you what your bill was for $42, you gave her a story that you didn't have the money right away. You just told that to me. You said you had to get it because you had some child care expenses.
Correct, but I was not told that she called.
Just a second. That is not her problem that you have child care expenses.
I never said it was her problem. That's why I made sure she got her money the very next day. That's not the discrepancy here.
No, you didn't give her the money the very next day. You didn't give her the $42 for the first bill the very next day. You know that, and I know that.
It was the next day. She didn't get it the same day when I talked to her.
You didn't give me the money until Friday.
Till Friday? You got the money way before then.
No, I didn't.
Now,
yes,
you know what? I kept a journal of everything.
Well, kept a journal
Miss Landros,
you got the money.
Talk to the judge, please.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Miss Landros.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't believe that this lady is going to pay you the $192.27. I don't believe she's going to pay you that. Because I see that she thinks that she's right. She thinks that you do her a favor, you connect total stranger's bill up to your phone. Then you got to keep calling her for the money. Then she questions why it's so high. Then she questions if there's a contract. She was so interested she could have gone with you and worked out the arrangements herself with you right there. Instead, she gave you the phone and said, go ahead and do it.
I was working.
That's not her problem. Since when is she a partner in your misery? Since when is the stranger a partner in your problems? If you were so interested in making sure everything was going to be done just the way you wanted to, you should have said, I will go with you and take off time. Lunchtime?
Our schedules are different. I'm a photographer, she's an appointment coordinator. 2 different schedules, lunch hours different.
You always have an excuse for doing the wrong thing.
No, I'm not making an excuse.
You got an excuse for everything.
There is no excuse.
Everything.
I owe her $192.
Well, I'm giving her a judgment for $600. That way she's going to pay for the phone bill that you owe her, as well as the 10 months for the contract that she signed in good faith so that you would have a phone. That's all.
Thank you very much.
Funds are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I did not tell her to cancel the service. I owe her $192. I only owe her for what I used, not for her canceling a contract.
I canceled it because you avoided me.
I will go ahead and pay that.
Yeah, why is it that when we paid you and we put my husband's pager number, somebody called back right away?
That's not my problem.
Don't trust people and don't do them favors.
I get a call on my phone from a girl telling me she love me, but hardly trust she a hoe. Got a job in my mind, so asked her the blows. Said she don't wanna rush, she want it slow. Fucked her brains up, kicked her out the door, yeah. Never did love no one. Have my boys in my back with these guns, blacked out drip. Fuck these nuns. I don't pray for love, I pray for one night kinda fun. Dropped her off to be sex, kicked her out to the curb, I'm done. Said she wants me bad, said she wants me to be a dad to a son. Thought this bitch was a mine. Fuck these 304s, I ain't got time. I do drills for a living, no farts back home. These hoes be catfishing. If I'm wrong, then tell me what I miss. Say murder on my next minute, we get sick. Get the bag, get the fame, come home, he's back bitching. I get a call on my phone from a girl telling me she love me, but hardly trust she a hoe. Got a job in my mind, so asked her the blows. Said she don't wanna rush, she want it slow. Fucked her brains up, kicked her out the door, yeah. 2 years straight, I've been on a mission. Get the bag, hit the fame, living on my cash or a pension. Events for the ops, I'm not anymore in detention. Walk in a room and feel the tension. Say it to my face, but not in mention. Lost in a time when I fuck these bare hoes on these benches. I'm stressed as sin, that's just the way I begin. Give me a moment to think, I'm a writer. My words, I'm sorry for the years has been a pimp. Let me correct my words, I'm sorry for the years has been a simp. Not anymore, but the whole damn soon, now she wanna be my hoe. Let's go. I get a call on my phone from a girl telling me she love me, but hardly trust she a hoe. Got a job in my mind, so asked her the blows. Said she don't wanna rush, she want it slow. Fucked her brains up, kicked her out the door, yeah. Never did love no one. Have my boys in my back with these guns, blackout drip. Fuck these nuns. I don't pray for love, I pray for one night kind of fun. Dropped her off to be sex, kicked her out to the curb, I'm done. Said she wants me bad, said she wants me to be a dad to a son. Thought this bitch was a mine. Fuck these 304s, I ain't got time. I do drills for a living, no farts back home. These hoes be catfishing. If I'm wrong, then tell me what I miss. Say murder on my next minute we peak is sick. Get the bag, get the fame, come home, he's back bitching.